Hello, and welcome to Nice and Blunt. I'm Adam Riancho, your host, and today's Monday, August 24th. We're getting close to kickoff. We only have about a week left in August, and then another week until September rolls around. So, September 9th. Yeah, it's late. Who cares? We're going to draft. We're going to head over, and we're going to start on drafters tonight. We're going to head into the main event, and we're also going to give away a free ticket. So, a reminder, if you would like to enter the drafters promo, hashtag blunt in the chat to enter a free ticket giveaway for the drafters main event. We're going to draft in the main event right now, and we are joining. There are how many spots left? Let's see, 4 spots left. If you guys want to join, hit that button, baby. Let's hit the drop.
Nice and blunt, torch up, nice and blunt, burn up, nice and blunt, rank up, inhale, exhale, points rail, nice and blunt, torch up, nice and blunt, burn up, nice and blunt, big drop, inhale, exhale, points rail.
It's possible I was muted. Devin asking if I am muted. It's possible I may have been muted. Hasn't happened in a while, but don't typically use StreamYard, so apologies if that's the case. Let's bring in the chat and let's get things going. We got 2 more spots in this main event. If you guys want to join, head on in, and obviously hashtag blunt in the chat will get you a chance to win the free giveaway. But Who Hames is in here. What's up, fam? How we doing? Hashtag funk says Who Hames. He's in a groovy mood, apparently. Disbanded Brotherhood is in here. A tribute to you, Disbanded. We have the dot as our name. I don't like to use the StreamYard for one of these reasons. It takes up a lot of space. So we stick with the dot, just like you. Scott Young in here. Appreciate that. Hashtag blunt is how you get in, not just the word blunt. Hashtag blunt is what you need to hit. But sweet, we get pick 3. That's awesome. That's what I was hoping for. But Jamie's in here dropping some blunt emojis. Appreciate that, Jamie. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, we get these points railed according to the lyrics. But sweet. Okay. I don't know what's going on. I think we're good. But anyways, let's get back to this. Sir Dinesh asking, yo, bro, do you like JSN in redraft fantasy this season? Yeah, he's a fine pick. I'm not worried about him. I think it kind of depends on the context of the league you're in and what pick you have. But if he's top ADP, he's a pretty solid pick. I will happily take Jamar Chase here. I will easily just do that. Let me get this thing situated just a little bit. I think we need to expand the viewfinder, and then bada boom, bada bing. That looks good. I think that's what we're going for. Yeah, that checks out. All right. Just kind of propped myself into the chair, got everything situated. I probably needed another 5 minutes to get all the settings done, but who cares? We started. We are good to go. And a reminder, hashtag blunt in the chat is your chance at a free ticket. We will be giving away a free ticket. Let's see how many entries so far. Only 3 entries so far. Right now, you have a 1 in 3 chance of winning this free ticket. I think we're going to do it as soon as this draft is over. So hashtag blunt gets you a chance. We'll spin the wheel, and we will give away a drafters main event. But let's get back to our draft. We took Jamar Chase, after which we see Puka, Amon-Ra 5, JSN at 6, Jonathan Taylor, Justin Jefferson, Christian McCaffrey. That's a pretty typical draft. I mean, I would usually see McCaffrey over Taylor, but that's kind of the only thing that's weird. I've noticed some people just pull up Amon-Ra a bit more. I rank him over JSN. Back to your question, Sir Dinesh. I think JSN is a phenomenal first-round pick, but I do have him ranked 1 spot behind Amon-Ra. He's my wide receiver 4. Amon-Ra, my number 3. So if you like him, go for it. There's nothing wrong with him, but maybe the offense is a little bit different without Clint Kubiak this year, and I might just trust the consistency of Amon-Ra year over year. He's been very effective. So that's my stance on it. He's a good pick, I think, at number 6 or 7. If you wanted a running back over him, I would also understand. But I'm usually going Amon-Ra over JSN. But yeah, Pat Bryant is on the thumbnail tonight. Let's fucking go. Well, let's pay some tribute to the Broncos, shall we? We're a big Chargers fandom on this channel, but we do respect the Broncos. They're not a bad team. They should have been in the Super Bowl last season, but Devin hitting the hashtag blunt, so is Go Horns, and will be good for y'all. Who Hames asking news on Bryant? No, I think he's just on the game. He's on the thumbnail. I think that's all it is. He is on the thumbnail. But do I like Tet? Not really. I think he's a bit overpriced. I don't really want to tie myself to the Panthers passing game. I think that's the main reason not to like him. It's not that he isn't talented. It's not that he won't get 1,000+ yards. I worry about the touchdown production in Carolina. The quarterback play is concerning. So I don't do it that often. If he falls, I'm okay with it. But I prefer him in full PPR as opposed to half PPR. But he's in your flex spot. He's okay. I think, like I just said, better in full PPR. He's all right. Not my favorite pick, though, you can find. Okay, the only dilemma I've noticed on drafters is that sometimes I find it hard to keep up at either running back. If I wait long enough, it can sometimes really get away from me. But then receiver's also been a problem. So on this side of the board, we're just going to lean into the strength of receiver. And my highest ranked guy is Malik Nabers here. So I'm going to take Malik Nabers. We start off double LSU, and we possibly have a top 5 receiver. In full PPR, that's definitely where I think Nabers has a bit more value. The volume will be unquestioned. Back to his rookie season, he had 170 targets in only 15 games. He was on pace for over 190. So if that comes back to him, he will crush. I might be tempted to pull him up in the second round if I just want to stay balanced and go with wide receiver and running back. I don't think it's terrible. I don't think it's crazy, but we'll see what happens. Jamar Chase, Malik Nabers. I should probably get in at running back if I can. Kyron goes, unfortunately. I would have liked Kyron. So I'm either pulling up someone I don't really want to, or not getting them back on the turn. Gross. Very annoying. Very frustrating. I think, fuck it. We'll just go triple receiver, and we will trust this anchor approach. We have to start 3 receivers every week, and I think we will find a way. I think as long as we double tap running back at 46.51, I think I can get away with it, but there's always a chance I might be way behind at that position. But Dinesh, in full PPR, Tet McMillan is a better pick. Definitely more valuable in full PPR. But good to see Game Tight hitting the hashtag blunt. Same with Pepper Tony. What's up, my man? How we doing? Good to have you on the channel yesterday and Thursday for those high-stakes drafts. But let's shout out y'all in the chat who made this lobby. There were only 4 spots when I entered, but it looks like Gohorns got in this one. He's next to me at pick 2. We also have Huhames in here at pick 10, and then I also recognize Game Type. He drew pick 11. So 4 people watching, 2 of us are paired up at the 2-3, the other 2 at the 10-11. Honestly, that's a pretty good spot in terms of draft allocation to be randomized for. So if you're also in this lobby, let me know. Let us know in the chat if you happen to be in this lobby. But in case you just joined, in case you missed it, we can also get an entry while we still can. We will be pulling one name as a winner for this main event contest at the end of the draft. There's 20 rounds. Hashtag blunt gets you your chance to enter. Right now, there's only 5 people in the drawing. Right now, if you hit hashtag blunt as the 6th person, you would still have about a 17% chance of winning it. That's pretty high. Right now, it's pretty dope. But draft is disconnected. That's not good. I had to refresh. We'll see. But There we go. We're all fine. We're doing fine. But Gohorn's asking, damn, thoughts on Genty at 12? Yeah. At pick 12, you take your stance. He wanted to stay balanced. He took one of each position. I wouldn't do it with those other guys on the board. I do not rank Genty above Hampton, Chase Brown, Saquon, Ken Walker, or Derrick Henry at the moment. I am a little bit worried about the injury chances of that lingering, paired with the lack of efficiency last season. If he told me he was healthy 100% by like week 6, then I still think he's a second-round pick. He's probably healthier sooner than that if it's not as serious as some people think. But at the moment, I think you have to exercise some caution, and I personally wouldn't do that at pick 12 with all the other guys there. If every other running back has already been taken, I'm probably going to scoop him up. So I think at 19 and 18, it's a different conversation. But at pick 12, that's not what I'm trying to do. Not my favorite choice. But Juntara hitting the hashtag. Same with Two Mules. Good to see y'all. Gohorns said that too. But Paulino entered the giveaway. So did Waffle House, Hulk Smash Potatoes, and Roni Baloney. Good luck, everyone. Hashtag blunt for the giveaway. We will be giving away a main event ticket when this draft is over. But Pepper Tony saying off my board until further notice. Should have been at the end of the group of running backs anyway. At the very least, he has to be mid to late round 2. I think closer to pick 20 is more appropriate. Until we have like full clarity on his recovery timeline, you have to be a bit more cautious. I think that wasn't the best pick, but I still understand the argument. It's not like he's a bad player, but we'll see what happens. King Pong, of all the players to want, I never really liked Breece Hall, but there he goes. I actually wanted him today at 46. It didn't happen. He goes 45, unfortunately. But based on my running back rankings, I'm going to trust in Cam Scatterbo. I know Najee Harris is there. I really don't worry about that. Najee kind of sucks. And Tyrone Tracy looks like a big afterthought. So especially in terms of pass-catching running backs, I think Scatterbo will be the man. And I just don't think that Najee Harris is good enough to really keep him off the field when it matters most on the goal line. We have a very good player here with Cam Scatterbo. So I'm not going to be scared. We have double giants, but their offense is very narrow, very consolidated. Ball doesn't really go that many other places other than Neighbors and Scatterbo. We'll see Likely get involved. We'll see Malachi Fields a little bit, but I'm not really worried about Cam Scatterbo at the end of the day. Late 4th round, I'll still take him, especially knowing that Team 1 didn't have their second running back yet. I don't want to leave this draft without my preference. And I already told you I was kind of worried about this team. If I don't take running back there, I'm not quite sure what's going to happen. So I'm really tempted to just go like Bucky Irving or Quinshon Judkins. I think that's useful for the sake of how this team has been built. But I don't know if that's really like the right pick, to be honest. But I think I kind of have to. I'm going to go Quinshon today. Gun to my head, I'll go Quinshon, but I don't feel good about it. He's very talented, but I really don't like investing in the Browns. And I don't trust their offense whatsoever. With Deshaun Watson looking like shit and declared the starter, those first few weeks might be terrible, but at least I know Judkins is getting 20 carries every week. Volume-wise, it's fine. That's a fine bet. Efficiency-wise, at least on the goal line, I really have a hard time believing. He gives me 10-plus touchdowns, but he's capable of that. Let's hope for the best. We'll go Quinshon Judkins and at least just have another crack at the running back room. I need some running back points. Can't ignore it for too long. The game tight put me in a bit of a jam there, going 4 running backs. Thankfully, only one other team took 3 running backs before I took Scatterbo. But Gohorns took his 3rd running back as well, and I don't want to fall behind. I really don't. It's total points over the course of the season. So let's get one of the last like true workhorses that has no competition. 4 touches. As long as Quinchon's healthy. He's getting 20 plus touches per game. But Petey's entered in the giveaway, so is Chad. Huhaim saying Achan Truther's getting bailed out with the Genty injury. I know, a little bit, right? Yeah. Of all the names to feel a little better about right now, Achan over Genty, I think, makes some sense. But I think Genty is more like RB12 right now. That's the highest I think you can rank him without full clarity. I think that's how I feel about it. But Pepper Tony saying Genty Slappy's getting an excuse for their bad pick instead of facing reality. Right? There is that too. As a Hampton Slappy, I'm just gonna have to live with it. I'm gonna have to get it the old-fashioned way. Either I'm right or wrong. There's no excuses at the moment. But Huhaim saying we will never know, but I'm positive Genty would have been a better pick than Achan. Probably was a lock to happen, if not for the injury. But Pepper Tony saying game tight is my spirit animal. He starts 4 running backs, goes Lamar and Marvin Harrison. Gross. Marvin Harrison, wide receiver 1, is disgusting, but everything else so far looks pretty good. His running back room is definitely better than mine is. But Go Horns asking, is there a reason I've been seeing a lot more Jefferson pulled up as opposed to CeeDee Lamb? Not that I can think of. I mean, Jefferson's talented, so is Lamb, but based on the quarterback situation, I think you trust Lamb a bit more right now. So, yeah, I don't know why. Maybe that guy just really likes Jefferson. If it's a trend, then so be it. I don't think I want to draft Jefferson that much higher than where he's currently going. There was a moment in time when I did, and I did have some faith in him, but at the moment, it's not as high. I don't know quite what to make of it. Over the course of the year, I think if Joe Milton has to start games because Dak goes down, I still trust CeeDee Lamb the same. If we have to trust 9, if J.J. McCarthy gets the start because Kyler goes down, that would suck. I think that alone is my tiebreaker. Everything else, I think you can argue for Jefferson over Lamb, and it's not crazy. But quarterback specifically, I will go CeeDee Lamb myself. All right, coming back on the board, I have Jamar Chase, Malik Neighbors, and George Pickens. I think taking Burrow makes some sense. Interesting that Godwin has vaulted up the ADP to pick 73. That's kind of interesting. But I'm going to get my quarterback here. Even though I kind of prefer Drake May, let's just trust that Burrow stays healthy. Let's get our stack. I want the stack. On this team specifically, I want the stack. So Burrow at 70 with Jamar feels better than an unstacked Burrow or an unstacked Chase. Let's just trust that Burrow stays on the field. And their defense is dog shit again. That's usually a safe bet. But on this channel, projections don't mean shit. I have my own projections. They don't mean shit to anyone else. And ultimately, every projection guru will get shit wrong. You just simply cannot fully predict what will happen. I'm not going to lie. I prefer Kenny Gainwell over RJ Harvey in my true honest ranking. That's honestly how I feel. But I think I'm just going to take RJ Harvey here. Actually, nah, I'm going to stick to my gut. I think Gainwell will catch more passes and have less competition in that department. RJ Harvey, I don't quite know what to make of, but it's a very crowded offense there. I might be wrong here, but I passed on Bucky Irving for a reason. I'm going Kenny Gainwell. I'm going to trust my instincts. I think I like Gainwell just a little bit more than Harvey in terms of total catches. I might be wrong in the touchdown department. Harvey really crushed for touchdowns last season. Maybe he was definitely the better pick, but I think it's very close, and I just want to stick to someone I like. I want to open the door for a Baker Mayfield. But that one, typically I'm never taking him this high on Underdog, but he goes way cheaper, and this scoring setting is weird. The running back usage really changes in full PPR. It seems like they're more coveted in this format. But if you disagree with me on that, I fully understand. I think overall, Kenny Gainwell will be very productive in the Bucks offense. And as long as Dobbins is healthy, I think there's a quicker path to success for Gainwell. It's extremely close. It's really close. I think I literally have them back to back in my running back rankings, to be honest with you. But I don't trust Bucky Irving very much. I think Jonah Coleman's pretty interesting. And then until Dobbins is out, you're just never getting a true workhorse role at a Harvey this season. Even if Dobbins goes down, it's not going to be the same as last year. So I just don't think he scores as many touchdowns. I really don't. I think he's due for some regression in that department. And he fell to pick 82, but it's possible he should have gone, or I took Gainwell. That's a tough call to make, but I'm just trusting my gut. I think I might get just as much production out of Gainwell as Harvey. I don't fear Sean Tucker the same way I fear Jonah Coleman. And then even Dobbins is kind of like just as good as Bucky Irving in a way. Like, it's kind of the same. But if you disagree with me on that, I fully understand. That may be a bold call, but we're going to go off of ADP just a little bit on that one. Jefferson has brand name value. He definitely does. Gohorn saying the only thing I could imagine is Jefferson saying today that people are going to respect him as the number one receiver after this year. I definitely think he's got a chip on his shoulder. I do think that there's an aspect of revenge for Justin Jefferson, where last year they were just so bad and his stats were dog shit. Obviously, he wants to prove that to be an anomaly. And as long as Kyler can deliver, then he should be great. He should be really good. As long as Kyler can play at least as well as Carson Wentz did. Jefferson was way, way better with Carson Wentz last year. So was Addison. But yeah, if 9 is back, then all the Vikings players are definitely cooked. Definitely. I mean, if you want to trust him at his word, it's not the craziest thing in the world. He's been elite in the past. I understand it, but I don't know if I'm dying to force him up the board at this point in time. But interesting. They christened Jacoby Lane. Jacoby Lane looks really good. But yeah, I might just be right. Maybe everyone else is wrong. There's also that as a chance possibility. Wandale fell. It's kind of about time, but trusting the Titans is kind of gross. I think I might just go Blake Corum. In terms of total points on the season, I could see a world where Corum just really, really crushes. And the way I've built my team, I don't know if I really need receiver as much as just more running back points. It's about to really fall off a cliff. My next pick is kind of the last opportunity to get a running back that you trust. So I'm tempted to take my 5th running back at 99, but at least by having 4, I feel pretty good about it. But Gohorn saying Harvey feels a little nicer on Underdog for the chance at a massive spike week in the playoffs. Yeah, I would agree. I think any given week, unless Gainwell is the starter because Bucky Irving got hurt, I think you can probably project the ceiling to be higher on Harvey. But overall, I think it's a very close distinction. And on the season, I think I could get a few more extra points out of Gainwell if it breaks the right way. But it's going to be pretty close. Odds are Harvey's probably the correct pick. ADP is probably just right. I'm tempted to go with tight end here because Laporta's on the board. Laporta's a little banged up, but I think I'm just going to risk it. I think I'm going to go for it on Laporta. Let's take him at 99. Kraft went 93. Fannin at 96. And I will mix in Laporta. Pitts went at 86. Tight end is kind of weird on drafters. Tight end has some strange ADPs. In this one, we saw McBride at 33, and then Loveland went to Huhames at 34. I don't think that's wrong, but the next tight end was Tyler Warren at 65, and then we got a kind of a weird Weird order there between Pitts, Kraft, Fannin, and Laporta in that order. The full PPR situation is kind of dictating that. I'm not quite sure I would draft it in that order myself, but I took Kenny Gainwell over RJ Harvey. Who am I to criticize other people doing whatever they want? But Sean Tucker is wrongfully being ignored. He'll have one massive game, and then otherwise, if he finds his way into the end zone, you're not going to expect it. It's hard to predict. I don't really fear Sean Tucker that much as other people do. But let's check in on the giveaway. We are up to 14 entries in the drawing, and we are about to be halfway through this draft. A reminder, at the end of the draft, we will be giving away a free ticket in this main event contest. So if you have a Drafters account, if you're a subscriber of the channel, and you would like a chance to win it, hashtag Blunt in the chat is your opportunity. We will be giving away a Drafters free ticket in about 20 minutes, 20 to 25 minutes. We are about halfway done with this draft. Hashtag Blunt in the chat. But Two Mules says, got here late. Had I known you were doing a Drafters, would have loved to jump in. There was surprisingly not that many spots open this late at night. It has been a little bit tougher to fill Drafters over the course of the summer, but I guess it's so close to the contest being closed. A lot more people are entering. It did fill kind of quickly. But tomorrow, I think we might do another one. We have, including tonight, 5 more tickets to give away. That was the deal. We agreed that we would do 10 free tickets when I got in contact with the folks at Drafters. So we have 4 more opportunities after tonight, and that means 4 specific streams where we will intentionally be drafting on this website. But Huhaim saying there's never any value left on Drafters. Underdog and DK value is everywhere. Yeah, Drafters is very sharp. I've noticed that. It's very sharp. No casuals on Drafters for sure. 100% agree with this. Best Ball Cabal saying I had a pretty nice Chase Pickens team on here earlier tonight. Burrow at 75, Dak at 94. That is nice. Dak went 91. I just wanted to lock him up at 70, so I took Burrow in the 6th. But I wasn't taking Josh Downs, I'll tell you that. I might have liked Rico Dowdle a bit more than Kenny Gainwell, but you live and you learn. Maybe I should have pushed Burrow around the corner. But, yeah, I don't think that's wrong, honestly. I think that should have been happening the whole time. I think Loveland is actually worth like a 3rd-round pick at the end of the day. Kyler falls back here. I do like that quite a bit, but the quarterback options are kind of the same. Actually, I think Kyler's the best pick here. I'm going to go Kyler despite the Baker stack eligibility. I'm going to go with Kyler Murray, and we pair him with no one, but I really don't care. On Drafters, I kind of don't care as much. We have our stack with Burrow. At this point, I just think I want the best point total on the season. And I think if Kyler stays healthy, I think he will outscore Baker this season. Sometimes, as much as I am confident in Baker, there's also a scenario where he just doesn't play very well. I don't know how I feel about the Bucs, to be honest. I don't think they're going to win their division, and that division is so easy to get the job done. So if they're not winning 9 games this year, something went wrong. And with Ibuka banged up, no more Evans, Jalen McMillan already kind of injured, and I don't know, just some odd vibes with the coach sometimes. I'm not sure what to make of it, but he's still here, and I don't mind just taking him and kind of just trusting my starting lineup. We've pushed receiver for a minute, but this will be the last time I do this. We're going to go with 3 strong quarterbacks. I'm also taking Baker, and that is stacked up with Gainwell. So I do think Kyler is better. I do have Kyler ranked above him. I didn't think Baker would make it back. I thought that Crone at the 101 would take a quarterback. He doesn't have one yet. But I'm just going to trust that Jamar Chase, Malik Neighbors, and George Pickens in my lineup fucking crush it. I really dominate a quarterback. I have a great tight end, someone that can finish top 5 in overall points, and then our running back room is decently deep. But I'm gonna have to get back in at receiver. We're gonna fill in this roster with nothing but like receivers and running backs for a while. I'll take 2 late tight ends. I'm not gonna give a shit about that too much, but we're gonna have the best quarterback room in this lobby because even though that's irrelevant, we're playing against the whole team. I think there is kind of a benefit of just not needing to hit that position the rest of the way. There are still some really good values, in my opinion. I still think there's a lot of players that you can fill your roster with later on, but I'm trying to have a different team. I don't feel like I've drafted very well in the main event. I feel like I should have been doing this earlier in the summer to get the better values, but I'm going to do something that I don't usually have. I don't think I have a team like this. Huhames, however, is telling me that quarterbacks are overrated. But yeah, tomorrow we are talking records and divisions with Huhames on the channel. Our weekly collab will be on my channel, so make sure you're tuned in and ring the notification bell if you don't want to miss out. Also, subscribe over to Huhames, good friend of the channel. Absolutely a fun time. And then we'll be back on his channel. Every Tuesday, we ping pong. 1 week is on my channel, 1 week's on his, and this week's on mine. But a good friend of the channel. Support our boy Huhames if you haven't subscribed yet. But I am not Derek. I am not Huhames. I wanted a unique start with 2 4th-rounders, basically. That's fair. You took Loveland and Tet McMillan. You passed on T. Higgins twice. You passed on Jeremiah Love twice. You passed on Breece Hall twice as well. That's fair. That's at this stage of this contest, you got to find some way to get different, right? But Best Ball Cabal is in the house. Hashtag Blunt. It's been a minute since the Cabal has won, so he is eligible. It's been about 2 weeks since he won our first ticket giveaway. This hashtag is valid. I will honor this hashtag. If Cabal wins a second time, then this shit is rigged. There is indeed a Cabal if Best Ball Cabal wins. But Legalize It says, hi, how we doing? Good to see you. Todd hitting the hashtag. So is Crumb. So is Anthony. What's up, everyone? L Love Nosaka also entered in the contest. We will be spinning the wheel at the end of this draft. But John Tara asking for a field general. I noticed they dropped the puppy, and the puppy 4 actually looks worth my time. There's only 118 spots in the final. I'm actually pretty interested in the puppy 4. You get 750 minimum, but a chance at 100,000 and only 118 people in the final. So I will be drafting some puppies tonight. I think we're going to enter the puppy. I think I might leave the field general alone. But Gohorn says rookie mistake by Crone. Yeah, I don't think I like that from Crone's team. Not to have a quarterback yet. At this stage of the draft, kind of tough. Kind of tough. Aaron Jones makes it back, but I don't really care. I don't really care. Interesting. Jacoby Lane goes super high on this, but I did kind of want him on the team. I almost made him the thumbnail, but he wasn't there. We'll see what happens on Jordan Tyson. This is a total points contest, but I think we're getting a lot of touchdowns out of Jacoby Lane this season. I'm going to take him, and I'm just going to bet that some of these later round guys are actually just going to dominate. And by having more of them on my team, I'm going to have a more unique build than some other teams that we're drafting in July, in May, in June. Who knows if this is right, but I got to find some way to get unique. And maybe these later round pieces are going to help me. But my starting roster is amazing. Jamar Chase, Malik Neighbors, and George Pickens at receiver. I think having those 3 anchors, as long as they stay healthy, that we're not going to need much more contribution from that. I'm still going to have like 8 receivers when this thing is all said and done. So I think I'll be fine. I think I'm going to find a way. But wish me luck. I feel a little uncomfortable with this roster so far. But it's not the end of the world. Quarterback is great. Tight end has a stud. And then the starting roster receiver is good. And then running back, I think we figured it out. We might need to get lucky on some handcuffs, some backups paying off. But I think we get a lot of touchdowns and catches out of either Corum or Gainwell in their respective skill sets. I think they can provide some points. But Ferguson goes. I'm glad I'm not taking tight end here. I'm tempted to go Mike Washington, to be honest with you. I don't know exactly what to make of Ashton Genty at the moment, but I do think he might be more hurt than some people think. It might be worthless to do this. Over Tyson is kind of crazy, but you know what? Recency bias. Let's go for it. Let's go Mike Washington at 147. Fuck it. I'll take it. I have no idea if that's going to work out well for me or not, but I will take my chances. We'll get back in at running back. We need some points. And at the moment, I think he's one of the more valuable handcuffs. I think you could take him right above Keaton Mitchell, and it's justified, even if Genty is like healthier than we thought yesterday. Washington, I think, could still be a good pick here at 147. I'll take my chances on Mike Washington. But another reminder, if you're just popping in, hashtag blunt. We're up to 19 entries in the giveaway, so that's roughly a 5% chance, just above a 5% chance of you winning. That's not bad. 19 people have hit hashtag blunt. If you want a chance to win a free ticket, I recommend you hit it yourself in the chat. But you need to be a subscriber to access the chat. You also need to have a Drafters account in order to win. That is also a factor here. But a reminder, if you don't have a Drafters account, you can sign up with the link in the description. And on sign up, when you make your first deposit, use promo code BLUNT. It is not case sensitive. I just would put all caps BLUNT. You will get that first $100 matched by 100%. So you put in $100 the first time, you'll have $200 to play with. I highly recommend. That's how I signed up, and it's been nice. It's been nice. But hashtag blunt in the chat if you already have an account. But if you don't, you can sign up using promo code blunt, set all of that up. We still have 7 more picks before we are figuring out who our winner is. So we've had some folks in the chat leave when they've won. Just because the wheel lands on you doesn't mean that's the guy that wins. They also have to claim it. There's also that. You have to stick around to claim it. And so far, like 3 of our 5 tickets, the first spin of the wheel, that person left. Bummer for them, but it is what it is. Go Horn saying, even though I know it doesn't matter, it also makes me feel better that the Puppy 4 is after the Genty resurrection. Yeah, you don't have to deal with any teams that got Genty at pick 110, 120. I think they posted something that the highest Mike Washington was taken was in the 3rd round at, I believe, the 303. And then the lowest Genty was taken was in like the 11th round, I think, at like 128 or something. Pretty crazy. I would have loved to take Keenan Allen there. I really would have, but he's not available. So let's buy into recency bias. Let's bring in Cyrus Allen. Some weird vibes with Rashee Rice. I don't really trust Xavier Worthy, and Cyrus Allen is crushing at camp. Let's go Cyrus Allen because we couldn't get Keenan Allen. K. Allen for C. Allen. It's all right. But Who Hames, I fully agree. Puppy 4 is the best puppy of the year. Too bad is the last one they dropped, and I'm super time committed on other things. Bummer. But I have some time. After we give away this free ticket, we will definitely be drafting in the Puppy 4. But Gamer says, quick question, is Chase plus Waddle for Amon-Ra Hampton a good trade in Superflex? I think Hampton's more valuable than Waddle. Chase is definitely more valuable than Amon-Ra, but you're getting still a first-round pick. The drop-off from Chase to Amon-Ra is something, but I do think there's a world where Hampton compensates for that. We do draft Hampton in the 2nd round. So I think it's a bad omen to be trading at this point of the year. I really don't like it. I think I want to see what my team has to offer before I move off of the picks I have. But if you were someone that really loved Amon-Ra and Hampton, I think that's a really good start to any draft. So I wouldn't mind it. I think it's okay if that's what you want. But if you just want to stick with Jamar Chase, that's totally fine too. I think it's still a really good team. But if you don't have much running back depth, then tacking on Hampton, I think, could be worth it from a ADP standpoint, you would be winning the trade. So I don't think it's crazy if that's what you need. If running back is the weakness of your team, then go for it. But I'm going to go Caleb Douglas here because wide receiver depth was possibly the weakness of my team. We're very top heavy, but we're going to need a bunch of other names to close this things out. So we're ignoring tight end 2, tight end 3. Schultz would have been nice if he made it to me at 166. I might have taken him, but he wasn't there. So on to the next round. We just bring in some receiver values and hope for the best. But Gamer is in the giveaway. Hashtag blunt. So is Charles. Good luck, y'all. We're over 20 entries now. But Todd is asking, did I see Keaton Mitchell hurt or was McDaniel just saying things? Apparently, he did not finish practice recently. I think it was today where he was not spotted at the end of practice. Something might have happened, but I wouldn't overreact. I don't think it's that big of a deal. I just think you want to bet on the Mike McDaniel backfield. I think if you look back to 2023, when Raheem Mostert scored 21 touchdowns, Devon Achane also scored 11 touchdowns, and then Salvon Ahmed also had 2 touchdowns of his own. That is a total of 34 touchdowns in a Mike McDaniel backfield back in 2023. So I think you want pieces of that backfield. It's very valuable. Whether or not Hampton goes down, Keaton Mitchell's probably a fine selection. In terms of upside, he can crush it with a house call, but he's a much better pick in best ball. That is for sure. Far, far easier to pick him in best ball when you don't have to actually decide when you have to start him. But yeah, he did go out. I don't know how serious it is at the moment. I'm not going to overreact, but it's possible. It's a big deal. Gamer is saying, quick question, is Chase plus Waddle for Amon-Ra Hampton a good trade, please? I think we mentioned, I think I like it as long as you need running back points. But if you just want to hold on to Chase and Waddle, that could also be a pair of top 10 receivers. I would understand holding on to Chase and Waddle. But Amon-Ra Hampton, based on ADP, would be the winner of that trade. Lloyd has risen fast on here. Yeah, the hype train on Lloyd took some steam and just never slowed down. He has moved up very quickly. I'm not dying to chase him up. It's more so dependent on Josh Jacobs getting hurt. And at the moment, Ashton Genty is already hurt. So that's where I think I'd rather go Mike Washington straight up over Marshawn Lloyd at the moment. But if you feel more confident the other direction, I don't think that's crazy. Lloyd had some talent. He's just never been healthy. Okay, my tight end room might need some addressing. I might need to focus on it. Inevitably, it could be a problem. But quarterback is done, that's for sure. Running back is really slim pickings down here, so I think I'm going to ignore that. Wide receiver, always a position I want to hit, but I think we've kind of caught up at this point, so it's not really that critical. There's a decent fall on Juwan Jennings, and I do have Kyler. I'm going to do it. I'm going to take Juwan Jennings with the stack. At pick 190, I'm fine with it. It was a decent fall, but it's going to be okay. As our wide receiver 7, I think it fits the team. Jamar Chase, Malik Neighbors, George Pickens, and then if we ever need somebody else to hit the lineup, we have a combination of Jacoby Lane, Cyrus Allen, Caleb Douglas, and Juwan Jennings. We still need some more bodies, but I think it can be okay. We have 4 picks left, and so far, I think the team's coming together. We need 2 more tight ends. I could use another running back, and then I'm probably taking another receiver, more likely than not, if not 2. But RN Cool hit hashtag blunt. He's entered to the giveaway. And Pepper Tony says, Chargers tight end 1 is still on the board. You are correct. David Njoku is still on the board. Charlie Kolar is also on the board. And Gadsden is also there too. But here, it's kind of tough. I'm not exactly sure where to go. I kind of want to take Kenyon Sadiq, to be honest. I think that's an interesting selection here for upside purposes. But I do have some faith in Pat Freiermuth. I'm not that big of a Darnell Washington stan, and I think Freiermuth's volume will go up this season. I'm hopeful that the 3 receiver sets don't limit him too much, but I think if touchdowns hit right, he will be productive. I will go Freiermuth as my tight end 2 at 195. I just need some tight end points, and I think he's a good floor play. So paired up with Laporta, we get in cheap with Freiermuth, and I think we can at least talk ourselves into the world where our tight end room is okay. I think it's okay. It's not perfect. It's not the best thing I've ever seen, but I think it's okay. We're going to take one more, that's for sure. But Hetzer Metzer, what's up, Blunt? Not too much. We are about to give away a free ticket, though. Hashtag Blunt in the chat enters you into the drawing. As long as you have a Drafters account and you're a subscriber of the channel, you can enter and claim it after we spin the wheel. We have 3 picks left, and we will be finding out who is our lucky winner tonight. Hashtag Blunt in the chat to enter the giveaway. But if you don't have a Drafters account, promo code Blunt, get your first deposit matched up to $100 on sign up. Link is down below in the description. Set up an account. On your first deposit, use the promo code Blunt for $100 matched. Crumb saying the Puppy 4 is 188 seat final. Okay, maybe my dyslexia swapped the second 8 for a second 1. But still, it's under 200 people. It's still under 200 people. That's way, way less than the other ones. But forgive me, I didn't have it up in front of me. I guess I got it wrong. 118 is really nice. 188 is still pretty fucking good. I'll tell you that. 188 is not bad at all. But Bandit saying he wants Chase in that trade. I'm very high on Hampton, so maybe I am biased. But I think if you need running back, they're hard to come by. And I do think Hampton could be a key contributor this season. So to each their own. I think it's a fair trade, to be honest. But Bandit also entered the giveaway. Hashtag Blunt in the chat. Am I at all worried about the Chargers O-line? If you told me that Rashawn Slater got hurt again, then yeah. But they have the tackles. I think that's the most important thing. And even though Biotish would have been way better than what they have currently, I do think that Jake Slaughter is more fit to play center. That's what he played in college, so he was going to be changing his skill set. He would have been an upgrade at the guard position. I am not the most confident that their guard play is going to be the best in the league, but I think as long as you have the left tackle, the center, and the right tackle taken care of, the rest can figure itself out. I think Mike McDaniel's run scheme will speak for itself. So it could be better, of course. Biotish going down is just quintessential Chargers curse, but it is what it is. I'm not going to full panic. If they lose another one, that's a problem. But 1 out of 5, and then you slot in someone who's more equipped to play center than guard in the first place, I think they'll be okay. It could be worse. It's not the end of the world. It's way, way better than it was last year, and they still won 11 games. So that's why I'm not going to panic. But Sadiq is here at 214. I'm just going to scoop that up. I like that quite a bit, but I will say taking Ted Hurst here feels kind of compelling. I kind of want to do that, but the teams behind me have 8 and 10 receivers. I am going to take the value on Kenyon Sadiq. I think this is a bit too late for him. I almost took him at where Freiermuth went, but I played it a little safer. And as tight end 3, I think we can shoot for upside. Let's go Kenyon Sadiq of the New York Jets. The rumor mill says he may be healthy for week 1. But Gohorn says, I think it has caused Hampton to fall back down behind the running back pile. If that's the case, I will continue to scoop him up. I think he's really good. I think he's worthy of a top 12 selection, in my opinion. But Ted Hurst is still here. I'll happily take Ted Hurst. Let's go. We took Baker. We have Kenny Gainwell. Let's get another stacking partner. And we are just trusting the rookies. I got a lot of rookies on this one. So when they contribute, they better fucking crush. They need to have breakout seasons instantly. Jacoby Lane of the Baltimore Ravens, Cyrus Allen of the Kansas City Chiefs, Caleb Douglas of the Miami Dolphins, and Ted Hurst of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Ted Hurst is stacked up. Jamar Chase is stacked up. And our third stack is with Juwan Jennings. I also have Juwan Jennings on this team. All right. I don't know if this team landed the plane yet, but we will review it after the giveaway. This is your final reminder. Hashtag blunt in the chat gets you a chance to win a free ticket. I am not going to say it again until we pull. Hashtag blunt. Harry knows. Jesse with a typo, but getting it in time. Good for you. Huhaim saying my team is gross. We'll take a look at Huhaim's team for sure. Go Horn saying that was a smart Sadiq pick over Hurst. Yeah, Sadiq, when it comes to the upside, I think makes way more sense. And then I looked at your team, Go Horns. You have 8 of them already. And then Kron has 10 of them. I don't think receiver was coming off the board by either of your teams. That was just playing the board. But damn, Kron only took 1 quarterback, and it's CJ Stroud. Holy shit. Team 1 sucks. Team 1 is dog shit. I don't need to look at the rest of it. I already know Team 1 is awful. I think Team 1's dead. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the rest of it is just that good. But, whoa. Only CJ Stroud? That is crazy to me. That is pretty wild. All right, this last pick, I think it'll be a running back. I think that will be the direction here. There are not that many running backs left, though, that have anything left in the tank. Trey Benson just got cut. Maybe he goes somewhere else. I think he sucks. But he's also never stayed healthy. He's also never been capable of staying healthy. So that probably maintains. He probably gets signed by someone and instantly goes down. There's really nobody else behind him that looks interesting. I mean, Raheem Mostert's in the player pool. That's worthless. DJ Giddens is in the player pool. Zamir White got traded to the Saints. That was weird. That was really strange. Khalil Herbert is in San Francisco. Yikes. I don't know what to make of that, but I think I'm going to just take Trevor Etienne. We just keep scrolling. There's also Taj Brooks is possibly a handcuff. Let's keep scrolling. Let's see if there's anybody else. Let's not fully give up. I have 30 seconds to make this pick. It's between Trevor Etienne and who is the other one I clicked? Taj Brooks, right. Okay. I could just go Sean Tucker, though. Yeah, that makes sense. Let's go Sean Tucker. The full fade on Bucky Irving with Gainwell and Sean Tucker. Tucker might have a huge blow-up game like he always does. We might have a 30-pointer, but I said it once we finish this draft, we are taking a spin of the wheel. I'll give you 10 seconds to hit the hashtag, but we have got 25 entries. You have a 4% chance of winning. And good luck, everyone. I am spinning the wheel in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Who will be our winner? Who will be our winner tonight? Waffle House is the winner. Open 24/7. Waffle House 247 is the winner. Let's go. Congratulations, sir. If you are here, I hope you claim it quickly. We're going to review my team. We're going to take a look at some other teams, but if you haven't claimed it in the next several minutes, we will spin again. So I'll do a couple team reviews. My team, Huhaim's team, Go Horn's team, and Game Tight's team. We have 4 team reviews to do, Waffle House. But there we go. You're in here. Woot woot indeed. Congratulations, sir. Let me know what your drafter's account is. Drop the username below, and I will send that over to drafters, and we will deliver your free ticket in the next 24 hours. So just let me know what your username is. I hope it's the same thing. I really hope it's also Waffle House. I hope it's consistent across all platforms, but I'm glad that you're in here. Just let me know what the account name is, and we'll deliver that in a timely fashion. But good luck to everyone next time. Of all the names, yeah, definitely earned it with a great name. But Still waiting on you, buddy. Let me know. That's the only thing I need. All right. Let's take a look at my full roster. It's interesting. It's definitely interesting. We have Joe Burrow, Kyler Murray, and Baker Mayfield. Very good quarterback room. I also have a double week 6 bye with Joe Burrow and Kyler Murray, so I'm locked into Baker in week 6, but that should be decent. That should be decent. Running back, I have Cam Scatterbo, Quinshon Judkins, Kenny Gainwell. That pick better work out, but basically right at ADP. He goes at 77. I took him 75. And it's also stacked up with Baker. What more could we ask for? Blake Corum, let's bet against Kyron Williams on this one. Mike Washington, not quite sure what to make of the Genty situation. At the moment, I think Mike Washington is a valuable handcuff. We took him exactly at his new ADP. But then Sean Tucker fell to 238 in the last round with the Kenny Gainwell investment. If I'm ever wrong and Sean Tucker just goes crazy, then it's going to be valuable to have both of them. Imagine if Bucky Irving just gets hurt this season, out for the year but after week 3 or something, and we have the entire Bucs backfield locked up. I think that's decent. I think we're really hoping for the best on Quinshon Judkins, though. That, I think, is critical. We'll see about Scatterbo. But Waffle House has the exact same username. Love to see that. I will get that settled as quickly as possible. Waffle House 247. Appreciate you, sir. Congratulations. In case y'all have not signed up for Drafters, promo code BLUNT gets you a $100 deposit match on sign up. The link is down below in the description. But let's get back to my full team. It's going to come down to if my top 3 receivers are actually that good, but I feel really good about it, especially in full PPR formats. Jamar Chase, Malik Neighbors, and George Pickens. I might have 3 top 10 receivers on this squad, and there's a world where I have 2 of them in the top 3. I could see Neighbors just dominate this season, especially in a full PPR format. I like him a lot. I'm actually contemplating if I'm going to be taking him in the second round possibly tomorrow in the Iron Throne League. I have pick 11 and 18, and now that Genty's hurt, maybe I pivot off of him in round 2. Who knows? Who knows? But I will say Neighbors is brewing in my mind. Most of my rankings are for half PPR. That's a full PPR league, and I think Neighbors is an excellent pick at 22, but I should probably trust the drafters ADP. Maybe he goes at 23 for a reason. George Pickens needs to deliver, though. I need all 3 of them to hit, and I think they will. But Jacoby Lane, Cyrus Allen, Caleb Douglas, Juwan Jennings, and Ted Hurst might have a slow start, and the rookies need to pop. But I'm hoping for the best. I got a 10-pick slide on Juwan Jennings stacked up as decent. We also got an 18-pick slide, or no, even more. We got a 22-pick slide, on Ted Hurst, but it's super late in the draft. It's whatever. Laporta fell 14 picks. I just took it because I thought it was a good price. I took Freiermuth and Kenyon Sadiq as my other tight ends. I think the discount has gotten a little too crazy on Kenyon Sadiq. I think it's gotten a little too far for the first-round pick. It looks like he's healthier than we expected. He has a chance to play week 1, but with Laporta and Freiermuth, I'm not really counting on him until he's fully healthy. I'm just hopeful that we have some big spike weeks from him and more touchdowns than expected. If he has the same stat line as, let's say, A.J. Barner this year, I wouldn't be that surprised. I think he could be just as good as T.J. Hawkinson. Probably not as good as Dalton Schultz or Hunter Henry, but maybe Brenton Strange and T. Ferg are less productive than Sadiq. There's a world where that happens. There's a world where he's even more productive than Chigo Okonkwo. At 214, I'll take my chances. So glad I got the elite option with Laporta, and then we got some cheap options. The team feels pretty good with Freiermuth and Sadiq. All right, Huhaim says his team is bad, but let's find out. Whoa, quarterback looks really gross. Darnold, Bryce Young, and Cam Ward. Holy shit. It's not the worst tight end room, quarterback room in this lobby. There's a team with Stroud and Tua, and that's it. But damn, this is not that exciting. I'll tell you that. James Cook, Chase Brown, Ramondre Stevenson, RJ Harvey at 82. You're welcome. And then your boy Emmett Johnson at 183. honestly, the running back room is pretty solid with those 5. I think you can get the job done. So it's all about quarterback because I'm assume the receiver is fine. You have Ted McMillan, Devontae Adams, you have Stephon Diggs, Mekhi Lemon. Kind of a steep drop off, actually. And number 1 is someone I don't really trust that much in the first place. So receiver could be much better. Let's be honest. You also have Debo Samuel, Rashid Shaheed, Chris Bell, Cooper Kupp, and Xavier Legette. Gonna need some contributions out of them, but if Adams goes down, I'd be worried. The touchdowns will probably save you, but you just can't really miss on Ted McMillan. That's kind of a very important combo. That has to work out. But Colston Loveland, A.J. Barner, and Darren Waller. Tight end is great. Tight end is really good. Waller, we'll see how valuable he actually is, but a lot of touchdowns expected at tight end. So good luck there. But the receiver room is pretty weird. It's not the worst thing I've ever seen, though. It can work. I don't love it, but it can work. Running back is fine. Quarterback is disgusting, though. I don't like quarterback whatsoever. So, yeah. Big bets on Carolina, Seattle, and then technically the Titans. Good luck, but I've lost all faith in Cam Ward, actually. The more I look at Cam Ward in the preseason, I'm like, holy shit, this guy sucks. I worry a lot about that. So good luck at quarterback, Hames. I'd be a bit worried. Not going to lie, I'd be a bit worried there. But crispy bets, unfortunately, you're too late for the giveaway. Hashtag blunt is no longer in effect. We have our winner. He has claimed that free ticket. But, yeah, I guess you don't have him stacked on this team. Just need the points. Good luck there. But drafters, not drifters, says Jeffrey. That's fair. But at least you're owning it, Hames. At least you're self-aware. Not every team can be great. Sometimes we draft a stinker. No one bats 1,000 in this funny game we play. But I was right next to Gohorns. Let's take a look at Gohorns. He has Drake May, Jalen Hurts. I think that's fine. Bijan, Kyron Williams, Baishal Tootin to anchor the room with those top 3. Tyjae Spears, Zach Charbonnet, and Malik Davis. Not bad. Malik Davis is an interesting contrarian play, given Jaden Blue seems not to be as safe as the RB2. But Chris Olave, Luther Burden, Wandale Robinson, Dijon Stribling, Romeo Dobbs, Jalen McMillan, Malachi Fields, and Zachariah Branch. So a little shaky in the middle, but I think I like Wandale at 95 a lot better than 82. Stribling is a good pick. And then Dobbs feels like a very clutch asset, especially with the Kayshon Boutte trade. He looks more valuable right now. Paired up with Drake May, that's a good stacking partner. Definitely a good pick there. McMillan is solid, but a little bit risky due to injury. I'm not worried about it, though, so good pick. Fields and Branch, rookies that can pop. I got a lot of rookies myself, so good luck there. You have 4 tight ends, though. Goddard, Ferguson, Otten, and Kolar. I don't know if you need 4 of them, but if you're right, you're right. So it's not that big of a deal. Round 20, just taking a 4th tight end is not crazy. Like I said, I think you can get away with 2 quarterbacks. So you had the luxury pick. I think it's fine. I think it's totally fine. Receiver feels balanced enough to check out, but player takes just have to be correct. And then running back feels strong enough, especially with Bijan, Kyron, and Tootin, where if you get anything out of the bottom 3, if Charbonnet really hits, you're in big business there. So I like the team balanced approach, really solid roster from Gohorns. Gohorns knows what he's doing. Respect to Gohorns, a very good team. Game Tight had pick 11. He's also in this lobby. Then we're going to draft the puppy. Lamar Jackson and Bo Nix, always a good combo. Feels great with that. Devon Achane and Hampton. Javonte, Travis Etienne, and Brian Robinson. So a lot of receptions with Achane and Hampton, and then a lot of touches with Javonte and Travis. Very good running back room. That's not the problem on this one. So far, those 6 picks are great. Receiver starts off with Marvin Harrison. That's disgusting. Cortland Sutton, receiver 2, is fine, but needs a lot more depth to feel better about. Casey Concepcion, Jalen Coker, Trey Tucker, Pat Bryant, Rashad Bateman, Jalen Knoll, and Elijah Surratt. Not a great receiver room, but could just get it done by volume. If Concepcion is legit, then you have your savior. But I think Harrison lets you down. I think Sutton is better in half PPR. And then I think you get a lot of inconsistent production out of Coker, Trey Tucker. You're going to need Pat Bryant, Jalen Knoll, or one of those Ravens to really, really crush. I think you definitely needed 9 of them. So I'm glad you got 9. It was pretty critical. You have 4 tight ends, though, with Kyle Pitts, Isaiah Likely, Gunnar Hellman, Evan Ingram. So there are some flex options for you. Elite at running back, great at quarterback, deep at tight end with some high upside, and then receiver is just weird as fuck. Good luck on receiver. That's really the only thing you need to hit. But the team checks out. Given the build, I respect it. Game tight with a good one there. The 4 running back start, I think, worked out decently well. It's just receiver was expected to be gross, and it is. Good luck. All right, I think we're done on drafters for now. Maybe if y'all really request it, we can head over back here. But I think first we're going to enter the puppy because I actually really like the puppy. $5 to enter, a chance to win $100,000, and a really good advance rate when it comes to the payout structure. A 2 out of 12, 1 out of 10, 1 out of 10. It's not easy, but if you can get it done, you reach the 188-person final where you get a minimum of 750. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. If you finish in the top half, you only go up to 800. You need to finish top 50 to hit 1,000, but 750 for 188th as opposed to 1,000 for 31st. You know, that's pretty close there. The payout structure is really flat. And then if you somehow finish in the top 10, you get 2540 all the way up to 10,000 for 4th place, 25 for 3rd, 50K for 2nd, and then 100K up top. This is a very fun payout structure. I like this a lot more than the way they've built the other puppies. So I'm definitely going to hop in. I assure you that. I will check in with the chat and catch up in just a second. But at the moment, we are going to enter this puppy, and we are going to enter in about 14 seconds. The countdown starts at 10, but I promise you it's about a 14-second clip. I would hit the button when you see Baker Mayfield, Jaden Daniels, or Brett Favre. Somewhere around there, I think, is the sweet spot. We will see you on the other draft in this puppy.
Nice and blunt, torch up, nice and blunt, burn up, nice and blunt, rank up, inhale, exhale, points rail, nice and blunt, torch up, nice and blunt, burn up, nice and blunt, big drop, inhale, exhale, points rail.
All right. 1 spot left. If you want it, come and get it. There we go. We're full. And we're ready to go. I'm going to have to adjust some settings here, but I've realized I haven't smoked weed tonight. Let's fix that, shall we? I get pick 2. Fuck yeah. We're next to Go Horns again, but still, pick 2. Hell yeah, baby. Let's go. Let's light it. Looks like this pipe is starting to get clogged. I might need to buy a new one soon. The pipe is getting a bit clogged. But fuck yeah. It's been a minute since I've drafted from pick 2. Honestly, I can't tell you when the last time I was on the stream and get a top 2 pick. It's legitimately been a while. But Go Horns has the 101. Congrats. Furbalicious at pick 3. Hilltopper's in the house. He has pick 4. Lil Nada at the 5. Ruben Zoo after him, followed by AJ Sports. Over the Rhine, Game Type pulled the 9. Blue 22, PSA 10, and Jantara at the 12. We got a few friends and family in this one. All right. Let me catch up with the chat real quick. After I take Bijan, pretty automatic selection. Let's go. Okay. Someone has to pay the rake, says Go Horns. Yeah, there's more than just one person paying the rake typically. Technically, 10 of us in every lobby pay the rake. But yeah, thank you for your service. It was appreciated. I think my team didn't look too bad. I was happy to have those really strong quarterbacks, but and he has done 74 drafters. Holy shit. Who has? Who has done that? Was that Who Hames? I'm not sure. Um, is Benson still hurt? I don't really care whether he is or not. I don't really give a shit. He gets hurt every season. He's been terrible. He's been really bad. So I don't really care. I just don't want him. He also took Tua over Penix. Go Horns does not like that. But you know what? Maybe it's time for another rip from the pipe. Let's do it. I kind of want to unclog this, but I waited so long. That's uncharacteristic of me. Usually, I smoke it much sooner than that. Let's take another rip. It's getting the job done. It's a little clogged more than I would like, but it's getting the job done. Devin saying GG's. But Devin just happy to see Blunt and Drafters together. Yeah, it's been a nice addition to the rotation. It's been a good change of pace from our strictly underdog diet. Underdog is great, but I do think Drafters is also great. But Jeffrey, open up the Drafters app right now. Gonna take a look around. Is there a Drifters app that I don't know what it is? Is this am I not in the loop there? But who needs Ginger Jesus to be that guy? Darnold. He could be as good as he was 2 years ago, but I find it a bit hard to trust without KOC. But Arturo says, I have the 102. What do I do? Go Bijan, receiver, or wide receiver, running back? I hate the running backs that go after the 4th round. I prefer Bijan, wideout. I think that is the best use of your time. If you really want a running back in the 3rd round, go for it. I think Kyron Williams is a good pick there. But I think you can still get a good option in the 4th round. And I think there's also some depth pieces in like the 8th or 9th round that you can also plant your flag on and be fine with. So I like running back, receiver. If you have a top 2 pick, that's my preferred strategy. That's definitely what I'm going to do unless Bowers makes it back to me, but he does not. Nico Collins goes. London is here, so I could go double Falcon. I think I will, but I'm not fully sold that's the best choice. If the offense wasn't so consolidated, I don't think I would ever consider it, but it feels a little incorrect, to be completely honest with you. Double Falcon, I could see just not work out. But I am back on the board here, and I've drafted a lot of Rashee Rice lately. I don't know if I'm going to do it again here. I think I'm just going to pull someone up, to be honest with you. Let's get weird. Let's get different. Let's go Jalen Waddle at 26. He's never on this side of the board anymore. He's never there. So I'll go a little different. I'm not saying that this is like the correct pick. I do still rank Rashee above him, but I can see a world where it works out. I can fully see a world where it's fine. But Gohorn says Cam Ward looks so bad. I think he's going to use Wandale as a safety blanket. Probably, but how many touchdowns will that provide? If it wasn't full PPR, I don't think I can justify Wandale in the 8th round. But thinking Tate will hurt the most, that would be a bummer. That would kind of suck if that's accurate. But Arturos is like Pickens and Rice or Pickens and Breece Hall. That's okay. I think Breece is a little overpriced, to be honest with you. I worry about the groin injury a little bit, but mostly I worry about the touchdown production. That's always been a problem for him in the past. But what's up, Rob, from the Professional Fanatics? Hello, how we doing? Shout out the Pro Fanatics YouTube channel. The same account that we have on the screen is a great live streamer, goes live pretty much every single night of the year, and it's always a good time over there. I had a blast when he hosted me to go over my exposures. Also, a great time drafting with him over on this channel. We will be competitors tomorrow in the Iron Throne draft, and that'll be very fun. That is going to be a pre-recorded draft, and then it'll be posted after the fact. But it takes place tomorrow. Look out for that. Coming to a screen near you, an algorithm near you. The Iron Throne League, going to be very fun. But there we go. We adjusted all the settings. I'm in the top corner now. But Jesse and Arturo talking about the strategy. Looks like he prefers a running back in the third. If that's how you want to play it, it's pretty safe, so I don't mind it, but I think you can still get some good options at running back at the 4 or 5 turn. But been doing mock drafts, can't find which combination I like more. I think you're more flexible with the pause on running back, to be honest. I think based on how the board goes, I think I really feel good about receiver at the 2-3 turn. But Jesse doesn't agree, thinks that's how you get your cheeks clapped. I disagree. I think we'll find a way to land this plane despite the bad omen. These cheeks are not getting clapped today. We are going David Montgomery first. Go Horns only has 1 running back, so I'm going to take the guy I want the most. And if I don't get the running back I want, I can pivot to receiver. There's still some really good options here that I trust. So whatever Go Horns does, I think I'm going to be fine with the outcome. At least I had the better pick here. We go Dave Montgomery. He goes Luther Burden and Devontae Adams. Pretty solid. He took Beischel Tootin in the last one. I think Tootin's a little more valuable in full PPR. Not going to lie. But I wouldn't mind just grabbing him here and moving on. But I think you can still get away with it without it. I'm actually going to go DJ Moore on this one. Oh, whoops. I got it in too late. At the last second, I thought maybe I should go DJ Moore, but whatever. We still find ourselves with the running back approach. I think either direction is fine. I think having a third receiver in round 5 is also advantageous because we are going to hit the wall with our next pick. The receiver values are going to be much, much different than who we could have gotten there. So that's why at the last second, I did think, you know what? I'll just go DJ Moore on this one. Let's get really different. But by sticking with the higher ADP, it makes that Jalen Waddle combo just a little bit different. We have both Falcons. We have Waddle, and then we have Montgomery and Beischel Tootin. Running back room is fine. And then receiver, we're just hyper committed to the Falcons and just trusting Waddle. That should be fine. But Rome, the host, says, pick 2, love to see it. Always happy with that. It's a sign that I'm really behind on the chat. Let me try and catch up real quick. John Tara did get pick 12. It's not the best, but you can still find a way. He starts Walker, Hampton, T. Higgins, Travis. He's on the clock. What is John Tara going to do there? He goes Christian Watson, very good pick. I know Pepper Tony likes that. And then we'll find out in round 6. He goes Brian Thomas, gets his receiver 2 and 3. Not a bad start so far. Running back feels excellent. And then receiver finds a way to still be valuable. But Hetzer likes picking at 12. Not just likes it, but loves it. We got Rome in the house, says Go Horns. Welcome aboard. But let's see. Rome saying, brother, I'm going to save you a ton of time and money. Buy a Fumo pipe. It's around $75 and the best pipe you'll ever buy. Appreciate the recommendation. Fumo pipe. I'll look into that. I'm writing it down. I'll look into that. But Jesse says really hard to grab elite quarterback top 5 rounds if you got early pick this year. Yeah, that's not my preferred option. I usually don't take Lamar even in the 5th round if I have a top 2 pick. It's not a terrible choice, but I think we can still get a really good value, a really good option at this 6-7 turn. So it's all right if we don't do that. Typically, I'm never taking Allen at 26, though. That's usually not my choice. But a line, this was 10 minutes ago. I'm sorry for being very slow. Let me try and answer this question. I am about to be on the board, though. Let me find out what I'm taking. I think I'm going to gift Gohorn to Caleb Williams. I'm going to let him have him. And I'm going to set up Herbert. It's our first lobby in this contest, and you know I want Herbert. We passed on him yesterday, and I was like dreaming about it. I was like, shit, I can't believe I passed on Herbert yesterday in the 8th round. But it is what it is. I'm going to go Herbert with QJ. It's going to work out because Herbert is probably the MVP this year. I do believe it. Anyway, Align is asking, can you help me with my trade? Giving away either Tootin or Montgomery with McLaurin and Watson for Genty and Watson. Huh? With McLaurin and Watson for Genty and Watson. There's 2 Watsons you're giving up? Or just one? Tootin or Montgomery with McLaurin. I think the way you phrase this, I'm not quite sure exactly who the trade is for. But if I was going to give up Montgomery and Terry McLaurin, I would be pretty fine getting Christian Watson and Ashton Genty back. I think I would take that trade. I think I would want the Watson and Genty side. But I've mentioned it before, I don't like trading at this time of year. I want to see the games play first. I want to let the fantasy gods decide. I don't want to tinker with my roster unnecessarily. I don't like to trade. Personally, I don't like to trade at this time of year. But check out Chameleon Glass Ash Catcher. Best bowl I've owned. Have a couple now. Okay. The Chameleon Ash Catcher. There's no way I'm looking up some of this shit on stream. Next thing I know, someone's going to troll. And I don't want to be displaying this on my screen, but I appreciate the recommendations, y'all. Appreciate it. What's my all-time favorite strain? I've mentioned I don't really have one, but in terms of nostalgia, what used to be my favorite and like I used to really love and crave was Skywalker OG. That I think if I stumbled upon it again and it looked really good, I would probably just buy just for old time's sake. But these days, I'm not too picky. What I currently have are Oreos, which is a strain from Cookies and Cream and Secret Weapon. That's what I'm smoking right now. It's not the strongest thing ever, but it gets the job done. I'm chill with it. Okay. Yeah, that's a sign that this guy's just tired of clicking buttons and just wants to live a little bit. Just a team that's kind of a hedge on the rest of them, but gotcha. That's pretty shocking. To only go Strat and Tua with 74 drafts under your belt. That's a little bit wild, but I was going to flip if you would have took Hampton at the 2nd pick. Well, when you have a top 2 selection, that's not smart. You need Bijan or Gibbs with a top 2 pick. When you have to wait so long for your 2nd pick, it's not smart to pull up Hampton there. I'm probably just going to pass on running back here. I'll go Pittman with one of these selections. Gohorns probably takes Laporta. But maybe I should just hyper commit to the Falcons and go Kyle Pitts instead. We'll see what Gohorns does. But I want at least Michael Pittman around this turn. He does take Laporta, and then he goes JCM. He has Caleb already, so wants the bring back. It would be pretty excessive to go Kyle Pitts when I already have Bijan in London. So I'm not going to do that. We're going to trust that Waddle was the good pick and believe that Bo Nix is just going to crush on this one. We're going to stack up Waddle with Bo Nix. To pull up Waddle at 26, I think getting him stacked is the play. If we are that confident that Waddle is this good, that's the narrative of this team. The Broncos are great, and Bo Nix is the stack you want paired up with him. But sometimes we prefer the bowl. Typically, that's what it is. But blunt is a double entendre. Blunt means several different things. If you can only limit it to smoking weed, maybe you should think outside the box. But Gohorn says Rashi Rice has been falling in drafts. I've noticed that, and I have a lot of him. I got a lot of him. So I've been willing to let him fall. I've been willing to be one of the guys that passes. But 211 London, 3-2 Pitts here. I'm not taking Pitts in the third round. Fuck that shit. But I'll just take Vidal at 13 and print. I don't think that's going to work, Huhames. I don't think that's printing anything. But Cam Worth threw it over Big Gunner Helm's head on a check down pass. Yeah, he looks really bad. He looks really, really bad. Okay, Jesse. Incognito tab season. Yeah, there's a lot of different factors there. Don't want even just the history to come up. Don't want it on my search history, but Camdog always hits me like a truck. I think I've had Camdog before. I think I know exactly what you're talking about, and I think I agree. A lot of the strains kind of blend together. For me, it's like whatever. I've kind of stopped caring. It's nice to get a really clean strain, but that's usually the case with most weed these days. So they all kind of blend together. I don't remember them as vividly as I maybe once did, but I'm really not particular about the weed I smoke anymore. Yeah, we could pay an homage to Pete Weber. Who do you think you are? I am. Who do you think you are? I am. A true legend. But thoughts on Saquon this year? Feels expensive for what he's got left in the tank. I mean, as long as he stays healthy, it probably works, right? It's probably fine. But in terms of points per game, last season he was running back 14. He had less points per game than Javonte Williams, less points per game than Omarion Hampton, less points than Chase Brown, Derrick Henry, who usually go after him. The ADP on Saquon kind of predicts a bounce back. There is a minor bounce back expected with the Saquon ADP. So I've drafted a shit ton of Tank Bigsby because I've not been as confident that he does pay off. Damn. Am I really going to let Gohorns have Jared Goff? I think I will. I think I will. But it feels like a big gift at 120. I probably should have taken Laporta. I didn't think I would get Goff at 119. I really didn't. So Gohorns insta-clicks Goff. You're welcome. You are welcome, sir. Perhaps I misplayed that Laporta selection. Getting back in at running back is not the worst choice in the world here. It's definitely decent. I'll go Chris Rodriguez. We have both of the Jags running backs, and I'm fine playing it that way. I'm okay with that because it's just a touchdown bet. I expect touchdowns from the Jags backfield every single week. Not at least one, but usually two. I think on average there's going to be more than one rushing touchdown or at least running back touchdown every week from the Jags. So I'm okay with having both of them on this team. I'm fine with it. There aren't that many teams I like to handcuff, but the Jags are one of them. The Broncos are one of them. The Rams are one of them. The Bears are one of them. The Steelers are kind of interesting, but I usually just take one, not both. But the Jags, I think, could offer like 25 running back touchdowns this season. I don't think that's impossible. So I will take both of them. And every week we lock up someone in the flex spot. There might be some weeks where both of them hit, but in general, I think we'll be all right. But Jesse, thanks for the donation. He is bricked, apparently. Good for you, man. Good for you. But Fantasy Dog with the number 29 like. What's up? Good to see you, man. Thank you for hitting that like button. Appreciate it. If y'all have not, hit that like button and support the channel. Subscribe if you're new. And if you want a chance to win our next free ticket giveaway, we still have 4 more set on the slate. You need to become a subscriber if you want access to the giveaway. But Blue Dream is a pretty reliable strain. I wouldn't say it's like the best one in the world. But if you're introducing people to weed, that's usually the one that gets recommended. It's fine. It's a little tame. But any weed is usually a good time. It's hard to find bad weed. Typically, it's always a good choice. But yeah, we have over 60 people watching. Appreciate all y'all for joining us tonight. A reminder, if you are new to Underdog, you can get $50 in bonus entries using promo code BLUNT. We have the Drafters promo ripping on the banner below, but let me switch it to the Underdog promo. We also have a promo for this website as well. All right, coming back around, Jonah Coleman comes off the board, so is Tank Bigsby. I have Kincaid at least. But I might set up the stacking partner with my next pick. I think I'm going to want a stack here. But Rashid Shaheed falling to 143. I'm going to scoop that up. 10 picks of falling value. I'm not going to let Gohorns have that. I will take it. I'm chill with a receiver here. And I like Shaheed a lot more than the rest of them. Boston's talented. He's an interesting pick, but he's on a bad team, has no quarterback to trust, and that's a major variable that I don't really want to rely on. So not taking him feels valid. And then here, I think I'm just going to pull up Trey Harris at pick 146. I have him ranked at like 147. I haven't updated my ranks on the website, so it's not going to show that if I sort by rankings, but I do think he's a 13th round pick. I think Trey Harris is that good, and I think he's going to have a very good season. It makes me a little concerned about drafting Quentin Johnston or Ladd McConkey sometimes, but I don't think he's that good to make them not worth their picks. I think any given week, though, a Chargers receiver can finish top 12, if not even higher, at the position. Trey Harris looks really good in camp, and he's catching almost everything that gets sent to him, and he looks like a very reliable option that fills in nicely for Keenan Allen. It's going to be spread around. The ball will go everywhere. So having a double stack with Herbert is valuable. But Jeffrey said I opened an account. Yo, appreciate that, Jeffrey. As long as you use promo code BLUNT, you will get the deposit match on Drafters 1-for-1 up to $100. On Underdog, it's 50% up to $1,000. And then you also get $50 in bonus entries once you enter one of these puppies. Player first 5 get 15 bonus entries on Underdog. But Roni says, can't go wrong with anything that has cookies or OG in the name. Yeah, the OG strains, really tough to beat. They are some of the best. But sometimes they're like a little too much. Like maybe I'm just too old now. Maybe when I was like 20 years old, it was different. But sometimes I'll get a really strong OG and I just like pass out on the couch. Like I just want to go to sleep. Like legitimately, I don't want to do anything. And if I'm like having to live stream during that, it's not good. So I'm older than people think. They usually think I'm younger than I am, but I am in my 30s. And at least some strains do hit me in a way I don't like. On occasion, I'll take a hit and I'm like, fuck. I'm just like done for the day. It's been a while since that's happened, but it does happen on occasion. Getting back in at tight end, I think, is a good play here, but Gohorns has two of them, Laporte and Kittle. I don't know if he's going to take one. I'm just going to take Pat Bryant first. I have Bo Nix. I'm going to get the stack here. And Pat Bryant is on the thumbnail. Thankfully, we have at least one team with Pat Bryant on the thumbnail live stream with him. Waddle and Pat Bryant feel like excellent stacking partners for Bo Nix. And I think we can just trust that the two quarterbacks I have are going to get the job done. I don't think I really need a third quarterback on this one. So despite a bigger pod, I really like the playoff matchups for Herbert and Bo Nix, especially Herbert. We have both of them double stacked. Let's trust him there. But Gohorns takes Caleb Douglas as wide receiver 5. I think he takes another receiver here. So I think I get the pick of the litter at tight end. I do. If Rob is watching, I know he wants me to take TJ Hawkinson. I don't have much of him, so maybe I should mix him in. I don't trust Kyler, though, in that regard. I honestly prefer A.J. Barner. I think that's where I'm going to go. I'll take A.J. Barner. My running back room needs another piece, but I think waiting one more round isn't that much different than who's on the board here. I could envision easily a world where Tyron Tracy makes it back to me. Nobody wants Tyron Tracy at the moment, so I could easily see him just be still available at 191. So I'll take Barner. Sampson in a really bad offense was really dog shit last year in the final 2 games when he filled in as the starter. I don't like taking him. Kamara is also already hurt and was pretty washed last year, so getting my tight end 2 I think was more valuable than running back given the lack of options. There was a big run on RB in round 12, and then no one since then for 2+ rounds. Picks 146 to 170, not a single running back came off the board. The board has been shifting lately. Running back getting a bit more sharp and coveted. Maybe that Rodriguez pick was very clutch, actually. By comparison, I think I know what I'm getting a lot safer with Chris Rodriguez compared to everyone else there. And like I said, the Jags are a backfield I don't mind handcuffing. I think I get 20+ touchdowns between the two. But what month do I think produced the BBM winners? I've been wondering. It's possible we still haven't gotten it yet. It's possible it could even happen the first week of September. But if I had to guess, if the BBM winner was already drafted, I think it would have happened in early June. I think June would have been the month. There were some really good values in June, great ADPs, and after the bye weeks, I think in May there's going to be a lot more teams that got bye week blundered by accident. And I think in June there's going to be some team that really performs very well. Maybe it doesn't win the whole thing, but I think there's a lot of good teams in the month of June. But you can still draft some bangers right now. I don't think you should write it off where we know definitively that the winner has been drafted. There's still like a shit ton of BBM entries still yet to take place. The contest is still not as close to filling as I would have thought at this point in time. I think it will fill. I'm not that worried about it, but there's close to like 175, 200,000 entries still yet to take place in BBM. That is interesting. But anything with Kobe in the name, that should be great. Mr. Bakes a lot says my favorite strains are Kobe OG, Granddaddy Purple, and Blueberry Kush. Best in the West. Gorilla Glue is close behind. Some Kobe OG I'm going to have to try. We have Kobe in the background. He's right up there. There's a Lakers poster with Kobe and Shaq behind me. But if the Chargers line gets depleted again, then they are going to be fucked just like last year. No improvement in the department for that offensive line. Well, the tackles are healthy. So that's all the improvement I need. And anyone at center is better than Bradley Bozeman. Anyone at guard is probably better than Mekhi Becton. So as long as Alt and Slater are healthy, I think you're hating on their O-line just a little too much. It definitely got much better than last season. But yeah, the high roller probably a little too rich for myself as well. But yeah, Bozeman was fucking the football team more than the top cheerleader. Last season, he was really going to town there. I'm going to grab Emmett Johnson. I don't know what Gohorns is going to do, but I have 7 receivers, only 4 running backs, so I think I'm going to take that first. And then we'll see what happens after this. But I'll go Emmett Johnson, get the possible bring back. If Ken Walker were to get hurt, we have his backup against Herbert in the final game. Nice little bring back there. Let's hope for the best. But he does take running back. He goes Kimani Vidal. I will take Njoku, I think. I'll get the stack. I have some faith in Njoku. I might be dumb, but I have some faith. And I think he's their top route runner. I'll go Njoku. Kincaid, AJ Barner, and David Njoku. I'd rather have Njoku than Evan Ingram. Even though Evan Ingram is lesser owned, I think Njoku has higher upside. But why does no one want Tracy? Ask old man. It's the fact that Tracy looks to be getting replaced in this offense. He can't pass protect, nor is he that productive. He had some good games last year, but it was strictly dependent on volume. And with Najee Harris coming into town, I think people are just not expecting him to get much volume in the first place. But I think he was always overpriced. Cam Scatabo, I think, will keep him off the field. As long as Scatabo's healthy, I don't think you really want Tyrone Tracy in your lineup. So he's been a bad pick for a while. And there was a slight period of time when I came around to taking him for like a week period, but I quickly talked myself off of that. I don't think he'll contribute enough in the passing game to deliver. But Kamara over Tracy is insane, says old man. Tracy fell to 189. Like I said, I almost got him at 191, but not today. We go Emmett Johnson instead. D. Borox is asking, what do you think about taking 4-2 on the last 2 picks for best ball 20 round, like Parkinson for the Rams, Freiermuth, and maybe Tonjes? 2 of those 3 at the end. Gotcha. Taking 4 tight ends, I think, and 2 of them on the last 2 picks, I think is what you're saying. I think in 20 rounds, it's much more reasonable than an 18-round draft. I think stopping at 3 in 18 rounds is probably the smarter move. But I don't think it's crazy. I think the names you listed there could be pretty good. Parkinson had 8 touchdowns last season. Freiermuth is probably going to be better than last year, and he goes at the same ADP as where he finished in points per game last season. So he probably outperforms his price. By how much, I'm not sure. But Tonjes, I like a lot better if I also have George Kittle. I think just having the Niners tight end 1 every week is the better way to play it than just randomly tacking on Tonjes. I don't know if he's that important where you just have to have him unstacked without Kittle as your tight end 4. It's not the most critical thing in the world, if you ask me. So I prefer 3 tight end builds all the time usually, but in a 20 rounder, if you really wait for your first tight end, like let's say your first tight end is Brenton Strange or Juwan Johnson, then yeah, I can go for 4. I'm okay with that, but I want 2 that are reliable. Give me like a Juwan Johnson and Terrence Ferguson, a Dalton Schultz and Hunter Henry, something like that. I think that would be the better way to play it. And then tack on a Tonjes and Freiermuth, if that's what you're really feeling. But in general, I'm not dying to go 4 tight ends. It's not the end of the world, but it only fits on certain builds, not all of them. Najee will probably only be used to pass protect. His Achilles is still fresh off an injury. Going to take time to trust his leg again. And you also can't convince me that under his dark visor, he doesn't have an eye patch on. We still have never seen his eyes since the incident. I'm over at DraftKings. Wish I could join Underdog, but I'm in Michigan. That is a bummer. There are some territories where Underdog is not live. Looks like Michigan is one of them. This is kind of tough, but I do think Xavier Hutchinson's kind of interesting. Antonio Williams could still have some value. We go Xavier Hutchinson, though. I don't fully trust Tank Dell. And even though Jalen Noel will get on the field a little bit more, Xavier Hutchinson has been a very annoying factor in the Texans offense. They did trade for Kayshon Boutte, though. I literally just forgot about that. That was a bad pick. But I think we can afford a terrible pick, honestly. Like, there's going to be someone that's just a true zero. Unfortunately, today, I made it Xavier Hutchinson. I fucked up there. Didn't really think it through. Put him in the queue, and it timed out on me. So it is what it is. We'll see. We'll find out. But Jeffrey says, I don't like joining the drafts that have been open for such a long time. That's what makes this puppy pretty interesting. It just opened today. It's a good contest. But Mixter Bakes a Lot says he didn't have an eye patch during his Giants press conference. I'm sure he doesn't wear it all the time. But I feel like when he plays, you can't see his eyes for a reason. I feel like there's something still going on with his eyes. But he wasn't good for the Chargers last year. He really wasn't. Before he popped the Achilles, he was not very good. So we'll see what happens, but I just trust Scatabo the most there. I think I want to play it strictly through Scatabo. I'm not going to put too much importance on Najee Harris, but I'm not going to pretend like I didn't fuck up there. Xavier Hutchinson was a bad pick. Maybe I should have taken receiver instead of Njoku and hoped that I got him back, but I didn't feel like that was a lock. I wanted the stack, and I got greedy, and then I didn't think through the last pick. Sometimes it happens. It is what it is, but the team is a 2-5-8-3. If there's any position that doesn't matter as much as the others, it's probably my 8th receiver on this team. My quarterback room has Bo Nix and Justin Herbert. Not in that order. Herbert is definitely the better option, if you ask me. But those two, I think, will get it done. Definitely top 10 overall point totals. I think you want to trust those offenses in the AFC West. But running back, I got Bijan Robinson, David Montgomery, Baishal Tutin, Chris Rodriguez, and Emmett Johnson. That handcuff in Jacksonville, kind of a little bit of a lower upside play, but I think a really good floor play. And as my flex option, just the Jags every week in the flex, that should be fine. With Bijan, we're all set. And then Montgomery will hit the lineup a lot as long as he stays healthy. Let's hope for the best on Emmett Johnson. But in terms of how to build a running back room, kind of balanced. Rounds 1, 4, 5, and 11, followed by round 16. I think maybe the players can be different, but overall draft capital spent, I like that a lot for this running back room. Receiver, we got London, Waddle, Quentin Johnston, Michael Pittman Jr., Rashid Shaheed, Trey Harris, Pat Bryant, and Xavier Hutchinson. The Hutchinson pick is whatever, but the rest of it I think is fine. As long as Waddle crushes, I think we're in business. But London might not hit and pay off the same week as Bijan. It's possible I get to the final and having both Falcons is just a bad choice. That could be problematic. I don't know how I feel about that. In hindsight, I kind of wish I didn't take it. But Kincaid, AJ Barner, and David Njoku, a lot of upside here. If they all stay healthy, I think we can still be very competitive at tight end. Because Kincaid has top 5 upside. Njoku could just score like 8 touchdowns possibly. And then AJ Barner last year had 7 touchdowns. So I think touchdowns are really the only bet on this tight end room. But I think there is some upside. And we also have a stack with Njoku and Herbert. So this team is interesting. I think the Jags backfield bet is possibly a problem, but it's also a good insurance policy. And I think that keeps me viable. As long as my quarterbacks are the correct picks, then those receivers will pay off. And then I think the combination of the ceiling of London, the floor of Pittman, and then some good backups. I think the Shaheed, Trey Harris, Pat Bryant depth chart looks pretty valuable at the moment. Hutchinson would have been better if he's a more valuable contributor, but it is what it is. Whatever. Maybe we get some touchdowns out of nowhere. It's going to be all right. I do regret that pick, though. One pick in round 18 to regret. If that's the only one that's a problem, it's all right. In this lobby, though, who else was drafting with us? There was Gohorns, who's a member. Same with Hilltoppers, as well as Game Tight and John Tara. Game Tight and Gohorns were in the last one, so I'll put them at the bottom of the list. We'll start with Hilltoppers and John Tara, and then we'll move over to the other team reviews. But Jalen Hurts and Jackson Dart, I think that can work. High rushing touchdowns expected out of those two. Scatabo and Jonathan Brooks, Jonathan Brooks, much different than Taylor. Jordan Mason, Tank Bigsby, Alvin Kamara, and Tyrone Tracy. Big discount on Tracy, but feels a bit odd. Have both the Giants. Mason and Brooks feel kind of risky. Even if they do hit, based on their ADP, they might not be that much more valuable than where they're going. I don't see them like absolutely crushing their current ADPs. But Scatabo could just be one of the best picks on the board if everything breaks right. Having him handcuffed, though, is a bit of a hedge. I have a similar situation, though. Who am I to complain? Kamara feels like a wrong pick, in my opinion. I don't think Kamara above ADP is the best choice, to be honest. I worry a lot about his injury potential and lack of role in the offense. Them trading for Zamir White can't be good. It possibly is irrelevant. It's not like they gave up much to get him, but it's a bad sign. An MCL at age 32 is pretty brutal. But Puka, Devontae, Parker Washington, Tyson, Jacoby Lane, and Cyrus Allen, Jalen Knoll, and Darnell Mooney. Definitely prefer Knoll over Hutchinson. But maybe they flip-flop. Those two are both worthless the majority of the time. We have Bowers on this team, though. That's great. Likely is decent, especially stacked up. So that explains the running back room. But a big bet on the Giants, that's pretty solid. A decent bet on the Eagles, that's also pretty sweet. I think I might have liked Goddard more than Isaiah Likely on this team, but it's also stacked, so either one would have been fine. At pick 124, you chose Likely, and that's fine. If P-Wash doesn't deliver, then a lot of folks are going to be upset about it. Tyson at 117 kind of feels like the range I'm in as well. And then you also took some swings on rookies. I could see Knoll and Mooney, though, just be worthless. I could see that not really paying off whatsoever. So good luck at running back. There's going to be some luck involved here. Brooks and Mason have to hit, or Saquon needs to get hurt, because I don't think Kamara is helping you too much. So good luck there. Receiver, a little top heavy, but checks out just fine. I think it can work out. Good luck, Hilltoppers. Good luck with that one. We got John Tara at pick 12, T-Law, Malik Willis, and A-Rod. That's fine. I'm chill with that. That's okay. Good top 10 quarterback with Trevor Lawrence, possible MVP candidate. A lot of rushing upside with Willis, and then a good floor play with Aaron Rodgers based on the draft capital. It checks out. But Walker and Hampton with Travis Manungai and Jaden Blue at 181. That's all right. I don't know if Jaden Blue is that valuable, but he was going like 20 picks earlier recently. So why not scoop up and buy the dip? Not quite sure if Javonte ever gets hurt, but Blue could still pay off at 181. T. Higgins, Christian Watson, Brian Thomas Jr., Chris Godwin and Stribling, Travis Hunter, and Jeremy Bernard. Not bad. Wide receivers 6 and 7, a little hard to trust, but the top 5 feel very good despite waiting until round 3. Really good top 5 receivers on this team. Juwan Johnson took him at 133, but with the Tyson injury as well as Kamara, it feels like it is worth it. Strange and Freiermuth, not a bad way to play it. a little bit more of a floor play at tight end, but it does check out. I think it's fine. I think you worked out pretty well, honestly. I think at the 12 slot, sometimes you can get really burned and behind the 8 ball. I don't think you ever let that happen. I think the T-Law selection was very, very wise. And then you got a good price on Manungai. Godwin really fits this team nicely. And then possibly a generous fall on Stribling. You reached on him above ADP by 5 picks, but I've also seen him go at 100 consistently. If Hunter delivers, you have an interesting team here. Mega stack with T-Law. I like it. I think this team is pretty good. I like it quite a bit for the 12 slot. But Game Tight took Lamar and Jaden Daniels, so double elite quarterback with Achane, Chuba, Rashad White, Tyler Algier, B-Rob, Isaiah Pacheco, and Najee Harris. Pretty gross depth chart behind Devon Achane. Achane also feels like a very risky pick given the Dolphins situation. But I don't hate it. I can see a world where it works out, but I think RB2 is going to be pretty mid for the most part this season. I think you're very reliant on an injury, to be honest. Whether it's to Brooks, to JCM, to Jeremiah Love, to Bijan, to Gibbs, or to Scatabo, I think somebody has to get hurt for this team to work out. Running back feels kind of thin despite having 7. Jefferson and Flowers, Garrett Wilson and Sutton, Diggs and Trey Tucker, Omar Cooper at 184. Receivers fine. As long as you trust these top 3, they should work out. So let's just trust them, right? I think that's a safe bet. Given the draft capital, you just have to. Andrews and Ferguson, a pretty mid floor play, but might score a lot of touchdowns and just have everyone wishing they took more of him. And then T-Ferg, a big blow-up option, but probably inconsistent play week over week. So tight end could definitely be better. Receiver with 7 is a little bit tricky, but I think it's top heavy enough to just trust. And then running back just needs a lot of help with injury concerns. There's some reasonable bets here, but nothing is guaranteed. I think you have to get lucky with an injury. So good luck, Game Tight. His teams always are a little bit pushing the envelope, but that one, only the running back depth was in question. Lastly, our last member review is Gohorn's team at the 101. Right next to me took Caleb Williams and Jared Goff. I let him have both of them. I wish I took Laporta so that I could have just paired him with Goff at 119, but I did not. I took Bo Nix and Michael Pittman instead. At least Bo Nix was stacked. But Gibbs, Jalen Warren, JCM, Tyjae Spears, Zach Charbonnet, and Kimani Vidal. So running back definitely weaker than mine. Waiting for Warren and JCM is definitely a much different equation. But there's a world where they really pay off. It's possible that Warren really delivers. I kind of doubt it, but he could be a good pick at cost. I don't hate it, but personally, I'm a Rico Dowdle guy. That's my take on it. But JCM just in a bad offense, possibly. He is very explosive, high spike week potential. With Gibbs, anything is possible. But then Tyjae apparently has a much bigger role than people anticipated. According to reports, it's more of a 1A, 1B. And sometimes Tyjae keeps Pollard off the field in training camp. But Sharbs, I think, is a good pick. I've been coming around on him a lot. Even 16 picks above ADP, you were at the turn. I don't hate it. He wasn't making it back to you. I would have sniped you, definitely, in the next round. But Kimani Vidal, I don't think is that valuable at the end of the day. Unless there's an injury to Hampton. It's someone, but the RB3 in the Mike McDaniel offense is probably not that important, in my opinion. It's very injury dependent. But RB6, that's what you're expecting all over the place. Chris Olave, George Pickens, Luther Burden, Devontae Adams, Caleb Douglas, Juwan Jennings, and Devon Vele. Pretty good receiver room. No issue there. Laporta, Kittle, and Dawson Knox. The Knox pick is interesting. Don't see that too often. But Laporta and Kittle is good enough to just take a random swing. Was Tonjes available? I don't. Yeah, he was. I would have preferred Tonjes over Dawson Knox myself. But if you just want to bet against Kincaid, that's been a decent bet the last couple seasons. Let me catch up back with the chat. Speaking of Tonjes, Sladen mentioned it 12 minutes ago. I guess I must have said it. But yeah, Tonjes and Kittle last year had a lot of touchdowns. Kittle scored 7 touchdowns last year, and Tonjes scored 5. 12 touchdowns combined. If you just had the Niners tight end, that was fantastic. I actually think it's a very viable strategy. It's pretty underrated to have both of them. I think is pretty decent. But Jantara agrees. What's up, Jerry? Good to see you, brother. Good to see you. I'm doing well. Looks like you got a fucking steal. God damn. Round 12. What the fuck? That's ridiculous. That's insane. For you to pass in round 11 and still get him is fucking crazy. Good for you. Is that the tight end premium draft? Is that the reason why? It's the only format I could think might be that fucking insane. That's fucking crazy. You're gonna win with Herbert in the 12th. That's wild. John Tara, really wish I got Baker. You did not, but I think you worked it out well, John Tara. I think it was fine. Old Man says, would you guys take Monangai or Tyson at 125 in an eliminator? I'm in a slow draft and might ignore them. I think at the moment in the eliminator, I would go Monangai. He might miss some time early in the season, but Tyson is missing a lot more time. In the eliminator, you're not going to have a good chance to make it down the stretch with a bagel for 8 weeks on Tyson at 125. So at least get some points out of it. I'd go Monangai. Running backs are coveted. We'll see. But Old Man says I have 17% Tajay. That's good for you. I had a lot of him in the pre-draft. I had like 14%, and I'm pretty low exposed in the regular season. But damn, that's wild. Got QJ round 9 with Herbert round 12. Good for you, man. Good for you. But Jesse, yeah, we are still streaming. We are live for over 2 hours now. It's time to clear this bowl. It's time to hit the pipe one more time, and then we'll draft another puppy. The pipe got cleared on that one. Whew. That was a good pull. That was a good pull. All right. We're going to get back in the puppy. This is a fun contest. A bit tougher than the other puppies. 1 out of 10, 1 out of 10, both weeks in the playoffs. But only 188 in the final. A minimum of 750. And a chance at 100K. Let's go for it. Let's send it. We are drafting in the puppy in 14 seconds. Enter between Baker and Brett.
Nice and blunt, torch up, nice and blunt, burn up, nice and blunt, rank up, inhale, exhale, points rail, nice and blunt, torch up, nice and blunt, burn up, nice and blunt, big drop, inhale, exhale, points rail.
All right. There was like 8 spots in this one. 4 of them have been taken. Come on down if you want it. If you want it, come on down. And a quick reminder as well. Promo code BLUNT gets you $50 in bonus entries after you play your first 5. New customers are eligible. Terms apply. You also get a first-time deposit match. 50% up to $1,000. But you enter 1 puppy, get 2 BBMs for free. Promo code BLUNT. Link is in the description. But D. Borox says, I thought Kittle was injured. He looks to be okay. He looks to be all right. There's a chance he plays week 1. But coming off an injury at his age, I think the chance of aggravating that injury are pretty high. The vibes in the Niners locker room are basically just injury-riddled. Everyone's getting hurt. It feels inevitable that Kittle is part of that equation. It feels very likely that that happens. But Mr. Bakeslot says Tyson over Monangai. Tyson should be back week 7. 11 games out of him will be decent. Your chances of making it to week 7 with a bagel at 125 are kind of slim. The Eliminator is a tough contest. If you're in the survival contest, that's different. The survival contest is much easier to make it that far. But I think personally, I'd rather go Monangai than Tyson there. In the Eliminator contest specifically, Tyson feels like a really tough pick. Very odd to justify in the Eliminator, given the injury. But Go Horns pulled the 101 again. Damn. Good for you. Takes Gibbs for the second straight draft. Hilltoppers at the 102. I get the 105. Of course I do. Hey Toots is on the clock. Chaugi is at pick 4. Ruben Zoo is behind me, followed by Super Beast, Jantara, Osoj, Game Tight, Eid, Banger, and the U Miami. Looks like a lot of friends and family in this puppy. Good luck to everyone. 2 of us will advance, and 1 of those 2 will make the final. I'm locking it in. Puka at pick 5. Let's go. I'll take what I can get. I'll take Puka at the 5 slot. Let's go. But Mr. Bakeslot, who knows what Monangai will do. Smaller backs always get hurt more often. But that Bears run game is elite. There's a lot of touchdowns to go around in the Bears backfield. What's up, Keith? Good to see you. You are on the clock right now, and you're saying Michigan is a full go on Underdog and DK if anyone cares. There we go. Appreciate that information. They sent me the link to the map, but I don't have it readily accessible on the stream. It's not one of my like go-to graphics. So I don't have all the states memorized. I know Michigan was like a recent addition. Now that you mention it, it does sound right. But it is in Michigan. But Mr. Bakeslot says George Kittle just got activated off the PUP. That's good news. I think he's a high re-injury risk. That is why I like Tonjes. But yeah, good for you, Go Horns. The rich get richer. Double Gibbs. That's pretty fire. But Monangai, I thought you said hot young guy. Jesse with his mind in the gutter. It is late, but I definitely did not say that. Mr. Bakeslot, who are you taking at the 102 in a super flex? If Gibbs is gone, we're taking Josh Allen in a super flex at the 102. We're taking him 101, but if Gibbs is already taken, I'm taking Josh Allen at the 102. I will make this pick and then get some water. I'm a bit thirsty, but I'll make this pick first, and then we'll be back in time for pick 29. All right, let's see what is on the board. I might have a decision here on Genty. It'll be interesting if they let me have it. AJ Brown goes 1 pick away. What do I do here at 20? If Genty's still on the board, do I just take him? I got the 1 pick slide on Puka. What does Ruben do? He's thinking it through. I think he's probably just going to take Genty. Yep, he does. Might have not been paying attention. That's always annoying. I like Bowers a lot. Damn it. Yeah, I'll just take Bowers. Damn, 1 pick away from having a really unique combo, or at least something that felt unique. But not on this one. Not today. All right, I'll be right back. I'm going to get some water. Looks like my cat's here to say hello. Did you think I wasn't going to make it? We almost missed it, but I got perfect timing. I got perfect timing. My cat has all the food she needs. She just wants attention. And we're back on the board. I'm going to go Kyron Williams over Jeremiah Love. Let's do it. Let's go with the 1-1-1. Double Rams means this is a Stafford team for sure. Hopefully, whoever gets Adams doesn't snipe me, but we are definitely locked into the Rams. I want Stafford on this team. Undoubtedly, I want Stafford. Yo, what's the deal? What's the deal? Someone wants to say hi. Man, I think it's the summertime and she's like shedding a little bit. My nose gets itchy because there's like cat hair that just like enters the ether, and it makes my skin tingly. My nose is fucking itchy right now. But Jeffrey says AJ Brown, George Pickens. Wilby said, yeah, Genty is good there. I think I would have taken him. But Mr. Bakeslot, Josh Allen over Bijan and Chase. That's bold. I might just do that. I mean, in a super flex, it's much different. In a regular redraft, you're not doing that. Don't do that in regular redraft. But super flex, Allen's the 101. So to get him at the 2, unless I read that wrong, I'm pretty sure that was a super flex question. In Superflex, that's not bold at all. That's just scooping up good value. But Genty teams probably won't be unique after the news. Yeah, I think only yesterday were the chances, and you need to be in a lobby where he fell. I was not in any lobby where he didn't go in the second round. He was still a second-round pick in my ones. But Wilby, what is this emoji here? It's like a cat in a box. Let's go. But yeah, she knows her cues. She knows her cues. Apparently they came in recently. I'm not familiar with the. That's the first time I've seen the cat emoji. I'll be honest. This cat in a box emoji, but cat in a box. Double pussy euphemism there. But damn, we almost got Allen at 44. That would have been lit. That would have been fucking awesome. We don't get it, though. That's a bummer. I think I'll just take Scatabo because I kind of don't want to get stuck with the remaining running backs. So I'll go Scatabo. I don't feel confident I'm getting a running back to make it back to me. And I do have Scatabo ranked above Montgomery. Although it's kind of close. I could have gone Monty there, but I go Scatabo instead. But is it crazy to click Javonte over Kyron or Love? Based on last year's production, it's not insane. Javonte was really good last year. He was like a top 11 running back. But I don't rank him as a top 12 option this season. I would expect some type of fall off. He's also an injury concern. So if you want to do it, you totally can. It's very easy to get, but I don't think I would take him over Kyron. At the very least, I think I'm taking Kyron over Javonte. Over Jeremiah Love, I think it's an interesting conversation, especially with the injury. I'm not exactly sure what to make of Love because I don't like the Cardinals' offense very much. He's really talented, and it does sound like some camp reports say he could hit like a 80% snap share. It doesn't seem like they actually think Algier helps them more than just trusting Love. So they will use him, but him being banged up is a weird omen. I'm not quite sure what to make of it, but I'm not going to go Mike Evans. I'm starting to worry about taking any Niners at this point. Like, they're just so injury riddled. Feels like it's destined to keep happening. I'm going to go JMO. We got Jerry in the chat. Hell yeah. We're paying homage to Jiri. He took Herbert. I'm taking JMO. The Lions are always the right move. But Wilby says, haha, she's given her opinions on this team. She's not liking Genty. Got sniped. I know. Of all the picks, we were one spot away from getting Genty. Unfortunately, we didn't. But think about adding a secondary stack to this team also. We may bring in Laporta and try to rectify that Jared Goff miscue on this one. I'm not going to let Gohorns have it again. I might set up a Jared Goff combo. But I could also draft Mendoza on this one. We'll see about that. Who knows? But Gohorns is in Superflex. Allen should be the 1-1. Yeah, definitely in Superflex. No doubt about it. But got to get that cat comb. Cats shed like a motherfucker. The Bengal doesn't do it as crazy as some other breeds. Like my mom has like a Persian, and that thing is matted and shedding like crazy. Leia sheds a little bit, but this is probably the time of year where it's peaking. Definitely annoying when it's like all up in your face, and like you kind of have to sneeze, but you don't, and it just like it makes your nose itchy. It's not great. But did the Terrence Ferguson on this team too? Yeah, I could totally do that. I definitely could. I'm worried that Gohorns is gonna prevent me from having it. Gohorns might just take Stafford at 97. He has Adams. We'll see what happens on this one, but I'd be upset if I did not get Stafford. But if you want to take him at 97, be my guest. I think he's more of a 116 pick in the first place. But the schedule is weird for Allen, but I think he will remain the QB1 once again. I will take him at the 101 in Superflex. But Slayton says box his life. Can't disagree, Slayton. What a preach, brother. We get a good value here on Tyler Warren. Hell yeah. Pick 68. Let's do it. We had this on a different team, and I passed on it. Not today, baby. Not today. We're getting unique. We're getting a double week 13 tight end combo of Bowers and Warren. But I'm not afraid of the double buy. I think just take the falling value on Tyler Warren. As Chris the Candyman mentioned in the chat after that draft, I think I agreed with him. I think it was the right pick there. Let's get unique. Let's go Bowers and Tyler Warren. Let's go for it. We are not afraid of a buy bagel at tight end. But I might just take a third tight end in the final round. I might do that as well. We'll see. But when you don't individually type all the letters, sometimes weird stuff happens. I use the swipe keyboard sometimes. I kind of got addicted to that for a while. I don't use it as much anymore, but sometimes I still use it. And yeah, sometimes that thing has a true mind of its own. I know what you're talking about. But thoughts on the recent news that Monty and Woody are going to be splitting work quite a bit. It's hard for me to believe that Woody carved out a big role, but Montgomery is a bit older. If that's true, then he's not worth where he's going. But I don't really believe it. I'm not quite sure what to make of it. I still don't really like Woody Marks as a pick, to be honest with you. But here, I am just going to pull up the UNC. I'm going to go Chris Godwin here. I think from a safety net standpoint, I'm going to take him. We took QJ on a different team. And if I took him, I think the only way to justify it is by also getting Justin Herbert. I think QJ goes a little too expensive, not by a lot, but unstacked, I just don't like it as much. So we just took him on the other puppy team. This is a weird one with a 2-3-2 without a quarterback so far. I'm not exactly sure how this team's going to land the plane yet, but I think just being different, I think we'll be fine. But Jeffrey thinks Scadabo's a bad pick. I disagree. I still believe in him. He's maybe not as strong of a pick as he was before they brought in Najee, but I think their lack of faith in Tyrone Tracy is a good sign for Cam Scatterbo. I don't think Najee is good enough to be a major, major problem. It's not like Scatterbo is getting 100% of the workload in the first place. He has to take a break sometimes. And if anything, he'll stay healthier. Scatterbo is the play in the Giants' backfield. So last year, he was just so productive. He wants the ball. And as long as he's healthy, I think he is a good pick in the 4th round. But we can agree to disagree. If you don't want him, I'll happily take him at a discount. But I really don't think so. He'll get some work. You know, they're not going to bring him in and not ever use him. But is it affecting Scatterbo? Not in a significant way where he is not worth this price. I thought he was worth like a 3rd round pick before they brought in Najee. Now I just think he's like a mid, early 4th rounder. So to get him at 44, I'm in. I will take him there. But what's up, the Iron Throne? Ruben's in the house. We are drafting our 14-team league tomorrow. That's going to be a recorded draft and post after the fact, edited and posted after the fact. That's going to be a lot of fun. Look out for that. But Jeffrey Chavez says now Daniel Jones with Pittman looks good. They're not teammates anymore. I'm not really sure. Not quite sure what you're referring to there. Yeah. Okay, Jeffrey. I'm sure you did. But Downs is fine. I already have Tyler Warren. I don't want to be extra committed to the Colts. I think it's not the best choice in the world. We could go Michael Wilson here, get another receiver. Running back is starting to dry up a little bit. But no, I mentioned what I was already going to do. Oh, wait, no, I can't afford to do that. I took Tyler Warren. Never. Oh, fuck. Shit, no. Fuck. Damn it. I just fucked this team. I just fucked this team over. Holy shit. That was such a mistake. Very unintentional. I did mean what I said. I did mean it, apparently. Damn it. Yeah. At least that buy is covered, right? At least that buy is covered. Fuck. It's only $5. Damn it. That's bad. That's not good. It was arguably bad to take Tyler Warren, but to also take Laporta, fuck. Shit. Okay. Yeah, at least that's not what we're doing in the Mastiff. Thank God. Thank the Lord. All right. I'll go Kenny Gainwell for the bring back, and we're going to push Stafford around. We'll push Stafford. Adams is on the other side of the board at the 101. Go Horns has him. And if I don't get Stafford, I'm just getting Jared Goff. That's just what's going to happen. Maybe I should have taken Stafford and Goff at this point. But I really should have taken running back with my last pick. I fucked up. I am not drafting in the first quarter. No, I'm not. Perhaps that would have been a better choice. Leia's now just standing in front of the computer. Just straight up full obstruction. At least she's moving, but at this point, the team is probably just sunk. Thanks for the donation. You're welcome for the donation. Go Horns. Yeah, looks like I'll get Stafford if you're on that side. But you're not taking him, apparently. Shit. The cat just also spilled my water. Everything is going bad. Everything is going bad. Holy shit. I can't catch a break right now. There's like papers on the desk. Holy shit. Yeah, this is accurate, Who Hames. Scatabo is just gonna crush. Very accurate. Yeah, what has been done indeed is a very good question. Yeah. I sometimes it's so out of character to take Bowers that you just forget that you have it because you're not used to it. I think that was a factor here. The problem is I recognized my error. I just didn't have enough time to fix it. I put him in the queue so late. What a mistake. But Goff did go, so Stafford is the pick. Let's see if we can land the plane. Let's see. But I swear I did not want 3 tight ends with Bowers, Tyler Warren, and Laporta. I swear I did not. But yeah, at this point, we might as well bring out the bong. At this point. Yeah. We'll see what happens, but if Baker makes it back, I will take him. If Hilltoppers doesn't, it's trending in that direction. Hilltoppers is the only other team with 1 quarterback before my next pick. But I mentioned I spilled some water with the cat here, so I gotta find a way to get rid of it. I have a towel. Jesus. Tyler Shuck goes. Chris Rodriguez goes. Woody Marks goes. Keaton Mitchell's already off the board. But yo, Crumb, appreciate you coming with the gifted Memby. Much appreciated. Thank you very much. Tyson's here. Should I just take Tyson and say fuck it? Yeah. At 125, we'll just take Tyson. Like, who cares? Who cares at this point? Okay, let's mop up this water, fix our mistake, and perhaps the only way I do win with this team is if I just get massive, massive values. Let's mix in Tyson for the hell of it. At least my flex play's covered, right? Like, I got a good flex option, right? But Jeffrey says, no, you take Baker, then it's running back, wide receiver all the way out. We are pushing it. We are taking our chances. It is what it is. Now you can't even take Ferguson. No, I definitely can't. Definitely can't. But Best Ball on Call says, agreed, time for a rip. I will get the bong ready. You know what? I will. The pipe is cleared. We will get the bong. I kind of just want to start a new draft, to be honest with you. I feel like I could just do that. But we live with our mistakes. We play it out. We're going to see what happens. Okay. Speaking of changing things up. Let's also play the music. It's late enough. Let's get the vibe going. And we're back on the board. We can't take tight end, that's for sure. I could mix in Tyler Algier if I wanted. But Daniel Jones stacks up. I'll go Daniel Jones here. I'll take a D Jones with Tyler Warren. At least there's a stack. Another one. Boy. Now I can't even find the lighter. Holy shit. Yo, everything's going bad right now. All right. Let's hit it. I will bring in Trey Harris. Actually, not. We'll see what happens at receiver. I'll go Zach Charbonnet. I'll go Zach Charbonnet. We don't have to put Trey Harris on this team, too. Okay, maybe it's not the end of the world. Perhaps we're overreacting. Is it good to have Bowers, Warren, and Laporta? Well, we're not getting a bagel at the bye anymore. But Stafford and Daniel Jones could both be top 10 quarterbacks. Kyron, Scatabo, Gainwell, and Charbonnet could just be well outscoring their ADPs. Could just be phenomenal selections. Receiver with Puka. The anchor could be all I need. JMO could be more consistent this season. Could just put up a shit ton of points. Godwin could be a huge value. We took him at 77, so he better. And then Tyson might just play more than expected at 125. Why not? But damn. I think this has to be a 2-quarterback team. I think that's kind of the only way to make it work, because then we can afford an 8th receiver. I think I'm going to need it. Only 1 more running back and then 4 more receivers. I think that's the way to hopefully land this plane. But yeah, I think this is the only way it works out. But drafts at pick 5 are usually rough. At least this one's different, Mr. Kid. This one's different. A triple bully tight end strategy. The lobby might get weird at that position. But Freddie asking, what is the name of the app? Apparently, you can get really good EV at this time of year. Some people just take triple tight end in the first 7 rounds. But we are drafting over on Underdog, and if you want $50 in bonus entries, promo code BLUNT on sign up, and you will get your deposit matched. Underdog eligible, not everywhere, but most of the country and some territories in Canada as well. But promo code BLUNT, make sure you use that on sign up. $50 in bonus entries.
Nice and blunt.
Well, we can't take tight end. It's just running back and receiver. I know what I want. I probably get sniped here. I don't, thankfully. We're going Keenan for sure. With Daniel Jones, definitely taking Keenan. And that might save me. Especially waiting out Tyson. We get early season points. If Tyson's really good when he comes back, Keenan will help carry me to wait for him. Yo, this team might not be done yet. Let's not write the obituary just yet. We have to trust Stafford and Daniel Jones, but I think we can find a way. The Keenan pick giving me some inspiration. But we're still behind the 8 ball, undoubtedly. Vele late. Possibly. Possibly. But why overreacting? I have 3 or 4 teams with Laporte and Warren. Do those teams also have Bowers? That is my question to you, Keith. Do those teams also have Bowers? We're just getting 1, if not 2 bagels from 2 of our top 8 picks. Not great. Typically not what I want to trust is the best strategy. I don't like bully tight end, so I definitely think I fucked up, but we are just sending it at receiver for the most part and trying to get the big names this late. Caleb Douglas still here, so we're mixing him in. But Jeffrey says running back here. It was okay. I didn't think it was insanely valuable. At this point, given the handcuff market, who you're going to get in round 17 or 16 isn't that much different from who's coming off the board in 15. It's kind of comparable. John Tara takes Vele from me. That's all right. That's okay. In the 15th round, Vele maybe a little more expensive than I would like, but he's a fine pick. He's all right. Antonio Williams, late from Washington. I'm not that interested personally. He's talented. Round 18. At this point, he might be lesser owned in the contest. He's actually a better pick in this Puppy 4 than he is on any other contest. But I'm not in love with the Commanders that much. I'll think about it. But in general, I don't really take him too often. But there's some old guys above him. He might get vaulted into the workload at a much higher rate than expected. I don't think he's a terrible pick, but I think it has to be round 18 at this point in time. Yeah, having Bowers makes it way different, Keith. Way different. We fucked up. It's okay. We're finding our footing, though. Team could be much worse. It's just includes a legit error. At this stage, probably just worth looking at the ADP and seeing who stands out, who helps me the most. It's got to be one of the elite handcuffs. It's got to be someone with just insanely high contingent value. We're trusting Kyron at this point. We're trusting Scatabo big time. I believe in Gainwell, and I like Charbonnet. I would have taken Ray Davis or Emmett Johnson. They both come off the board. We could just pair up Tracy with Scatabo, I suppose, but I'm going to go Zachariah Branch first. All the running backs I liked went off the board, so let's push Tracy again. Doesn't feel like the best backfield to handcuff, especially with the vibes on Tracy right now. Not sure what to make of it. It's arguably just a terrible pick. Should be just go undrafted. But, ooh, I did not scroll down. I did not notice Kalen Black was there. I forgot about Kalen Black for a second. That fit the bill for sure. That should have been the pick. Maybe I'm much higher than I think. But Jeffrey says take Najee Harris on this build and think about Sean Tucker as well. So far, we've ignored the pleas for help, the pivots to running back we've ignored. I worry about my receiver room quite a bit, to be honest. I think my receiver room is very problematic. There's Puka, there's J-Mo, who's really inconsistent, and there's Godwin, who could just get hurt big time. Tyson being number 4 scares the shit out of me. I'll be honest, that's what I think is the big problem on this team. Receiver, I think, has a lot of issues. There's not that many names that are worth any consideration remaining. So it's getting ugly, and it's getting ugly fast. But I am on the board. Yikes. I think Ridley makes some sense. Having to wait out Tyson early season, he could actually no. It's on the Titans. Never mind. I'll probably go Bateman. Yeah, I'll take Bateman. Ridley goes immediately after. Ridley needs to get traded to have any value. He probably does, but it's really no guarantee. I have no idea what to make of Ridley, given the Titans' quarterback just looks like dog shit right now. Mike Washington is long gone at this point in time. Mike Washington went at 141. So he was never an option unless I took him over Daniel Jones or Tyson. But Jeffrey says Branch was a wasted draft pick. You needed running back. At this point, trusting the 4 I got is fine. Like, I should have taken Kalen Black. I think that's the only pick I should have made, and I just didn't see him. This draft has not gone my way. But Malik Benson, I don't think I want the Raiders receiver 3. Doubt it. But we are coming to the final round. I kind of think just trusting my 4 running backs might be a decent play. But I think I just need someone early in the season if Charbonnet doesn't work out. There's currently an injury to JCM. We don't have the full understanding of it. It's probably not a big deal, but Katron becomes a little more interesting given that context. I could go handcuff with Seth McGowan in Indianapolis. That's also eligible. There's very few remaining handcuffs. You know what I might do? I haven't done it in a while. I might go Trevor Etienne. I might do that. But I don't have many shares of Seth McGowan. I might do it. I might do it. What if Taylor gets hurt? What if that happens? Probably my Colts investments on this team are bad. That's probably going to happen. But the ball has to go elsewhere. We'll see what happens here. But Ruben only took 4 himself. He took 4 a lot sooner than I did, though. I will go Katron's still an interesting bet, but I don't have any shares of Seth McGowan. Let's mix him in. Let's go Seth McGowan. The bet against Taylor could be worthless, but maybe they just need him. Maybe he does pay off at the right time. And nobody else has him. Against the Browns, I could see them really dominate on the ground. Whether he's just like on the field in the 4th quarter and finds the end zone, or Taylor's just not healthy at that point. McGowan against the Cleveland Browns, week 17. Who knows? Who knows? But, all right. This is a weird roster, and we did have 1 error on it, but fuck it. We're going to believe that we landed this plane. Let me know what you guys think. Obviously, it's a weird one, but Stafford and Daniel Jones might just check out. Last year, they were 2 of the best values on the board, and we just are assuming that that happens again. That is the argument with this room. Last year, the two insane values are once again really good picks. Kyron Williams, Cam Scotabo, Kenny Gainwell, and Zach Charbonnet. It's thin, but Seth McGowan, just a unique piece, but one of those handcuffs, an injury can happen to anyone. It could be much better, though. I think if I had, let's see, instead of Laporta, if I had just taken JCM or even Dobbins there, I think this team is much better. But I did not. Puka, elite option. JMO, high upside. Godwin, high floor. Tyson, late season upside, lesser owned, but also lower advanced piece. Keenan, Caleb Douglas, Zachariah Branch, and Rashad Bateman. Bowers, Tyler Warren, and Laporta. There we go. Yeah, the Laporta pick sent it off the rails. For sure. But, hey, man, it can happen to anyone. It can happen to anyone. Not hoping for it, but to not have any shares of Seth McGowan among the handcuffs, he is an option. Sanka says Sean Tucker, maybe another team before the season starts, some are saying. Yeah, there's some weird vibes on Sean Tucker. At one point, he used to be steaming up the draft board, and then he started falling precipitously. He's actually fallen back like 30 picks from his peak. He got steamed up to around like 15, 16. I think he was going at like 180. Now he almost goes undrafted. Sean Tucker is one of those weird ones. But Mr. Bakeslot thinks Ollie Gordon has value. If Achane goes down, I don't want the Dolphins' backfield at all. Fuck that. I still think the Colts are going to be competitive if they have to rely on Seth McGowan. But Nick Singleton is in a committee. McGowan, I think, would have more of the volume all to himself. Him and DJ Giddens, though, will be competing. It sounds like McGowan is the number 2 at the moment. But we did not. We waited even longer, and we upset some people. But not all the time, Jeffrey. On this one, yeah. If I didn't take Laporta, I probably would have taken a running back like Dobbins. I think I would have gone Dobbins. My ranks have Dobbins above the rest of them. But I actually have Gainwell ranked above Dobbins. So getting Gainwell and Dobbins, I think, would have been better. But if I went Dobbins, then I could have maybe just taken Stafford at 101. Then we take another quarterback at 116. But yeah, the Laporta pick was just a bad one. Or it was just taking Tyler Warren. Maybe I should have just taken a quarterback instead of Tyler Warren. That could have also been the move. Learn from my mistake. It is what it is. Go Horns has Dart Love and Tyler Shuck, Gibbs, Monty Algier, Tyjae, and Tyron Tracy at 193. Big fall on Tyron Tracy. London, Olave, Adams, DK Metcalf, Michael Wilson, Ryan Flournoy, and Malachi Fields. Checks out. Kraft, Schultz, and Njoku, a very reasonable tight end room. Yeah, good team from Go Horns again. Hilltoppers with Mahomes and Aaron Rodgers. A little thin, but if Mahomes is just elite again, it checks out. I don't think Mahomes runs the ball as much this season, but quarterback might be a little thin here. Mine only has 2, though, so who am I to judge? Brian Robinson, Rico Dowdle, J.K. Dobbins, Chris Rodriguez, Jonah Coleman. I like the double Denver approach. Jaden Blue and Pacheco. I think you might have one too many running back, if not 2 extra running backs. I think this could have gotten away with just 5, actually. Yeah. Blue and Pacheco, I think, are unnecessary here. Better quarterback depth, I think, would have been wise. Maybe swap out Dobbins on this team for another quarterback, and this one looks a little bit safer. But obviously, my team is not the safest either. Pickens, Rashi, and Ted. DJ Moore, Marvin Harrison, Tank Dell, and Ted Hurst. Travis Kelce and Mark Andrews. pretty decent, other than quarterback just being a major bet on Mahomes. Because Rodgers probably outperforms the ADP, but you already reach on him 17 picks here. How much more than that? Rodgers is a great floor play, but I like him a lot better as the number 3 rather than number 2. So that's the one complaint, Hilltoppers. I think quarterback over Dobbins in hindsight might have helped a lot. Or over Rodriguez, or just not taking Blue and Pacheco and just tacking on anything else. Too many running backs, not enough quarterbacks, I think. Super Beast has May and Geno Smith. Also a weird build. Trusting Drake May, though, is way safer to stay fully healthy and maintain top 5 production. Mahomes has actually also had some stretches where he's like barely a top 8 quarterback. So if he's like quarterback 12 like he was a few years ago, that Mahomes is a different option. But Geno's a really risky option to only stop at 2. May needs to crush. I think he will. So it feels okay, but a little strange. Taylor, Travis, Marshawn Lloyd, so waited a long time for number 3. Dylan Sampson, Emmett Johnson, Malik Davis, and Sean Tucker. This is a legit 7 running back room. This one's very legit to have 7 on it. AJ Brown, Igbuka, Rome, Quentin Johnston, Downs, Pittman, and Romeo Dobbs really good at receiver. Dallas Goedert and Isaiah Likely. So the 2-7-7-2 has its weaknesses, but also its strengths. Tight end is high upside, low floor. Receivers, very high upside, very high floor. Running back is top heavy and then hoping for an injury, and that's a decent strategy. Quarterback has no depth, but a top 4 option, so does work out. Good team, Super Beast. Good luck at running back. As long as they stay healthy, I think you're going to be fine with those top 2. John Tara with Bo Nix and Goff, another 2 quarterback room. Very productive, very nice there. Henry, Javonte, Ramondre, Harvey, and Ray Davis. Checks out. I think that's totally fine. Amon-Ra Evans at 56. Decent fall. Mekhi Lemon, Jacoby Myers, Jalen Coker, Wicks, Vele, and Tesla. Pretty balanced room. Really no complaints there. Very balanced. Even the Tesla at 200 is fine. You have Goff, so fuck it. Why not? Loveland, Henry, and Freiermuth. 3 tight ends as well, just way more balanced. Yeah, super balanced team, extra safe approach. Really good. Game tight with Herbert, Kyler, and Malik Willis. Hampton, Swift, Quinshawn, and Pollard. A little risky at running back, but I think it's mostly just the Pollard-Judkins bet. Swift and Hampton was a great start. I might have liked a 5th there. But Jefferson, Ladd, BTJ, Matthew Golden, Denzel Boston, Trey Harris, Juwan Jennings, and Malik Washington. Very good receiver room. Other than Malik Washington, that pick feels pretty unnecessary. I think it's balanced out enough. I think Malik Washington should be a running back. But Okonkwo, Dulcich, and Gadsden, pretty decent. But actually kind of risky with Gadsden and Dulcich right now. Okonkwo at 159. He has been falling. Running back should be all right just because I trust Hampton and Swift so much, but the Judkins and Pollard might have very few touchdowns, and it might be problematic. I think the 3-5-7-3 might have been a little better. I think that's it for the members. One final look at my team because, yeah, I definitely got outdrafted. I made a mistake, and we paid the price. Stafford and Daniel Jones, Kyron, Scatterbo, Gainwell, Charbonnet, and McGowan. Could work, but have to get a little lucky. And then Puka, J-Mo, Godwin, Tyson, Keenan, Douglas, Branch, and Bateman. There's a path, but it's very thin, and this Tyson pick is pretty notable. puts us in a jam. Bowers, Tyler Warren, and Laporta, though. Laporta. I don't think it was Laporta being the bad pick. I think Laporta was fine there in a vacuum. I think scooping up Tyler Warren and then forgetting about it, that was just the big error. So it is what it is. Let's get back to it, though. We are drafting one more puppy. If you want it.
Nice and blunt, torch up, nice and blunt, burn up, nice and blunt, rank up, inhale, exhale, points rail, nice and blunt, torch up, nice and blunt, burn up, nice and blunt, victor, inhale, exhale, points rail.
All right. 5 spots left. We will be fine. Jeffrey saying scrap the rank sometimes. If I'm right, I'm right. Laporta, I just had a brain fart. We got 1 spot left. Let's see what pick we get. Pick 9. I prefer the right side of the board. We'll be fine with pick 9. All right, this will be the last draft of the evening for sure, though. It's almost midnight, and let's hope this one goes quickly. We got False in here, Buddy Man, Sad Warriors, ZX Sharv, Game Tight, Ruben Zoo, Mukya, Jantara, Super Beast, The U, Miami, and Osoj. But Roni saying Laporta is sort of mid without Ben Johnson. It's been the injuries. But if anyone knows how to use tight end, it's Drew Petzing. There's a world where Petzing shifts the offense away from Jamison Williams in favor of Laporta in a major way. It's possible that he has a major resurgence as well. I think injuries are the main concern, and he does currently have like a re-aggravation going on. So we'll see what happens. But Jeffrey, I've done that before. It's fun to mix in. It's really not necessary, though. I think having the bet on Lamb isn't worth pulling up Pickens. I don't love the Dak and price/investment, to be honest. I think Dak has some injury risk, and there's just a world where, like, if you told me the Cowboys just weren't as good this season, I wouldn't be that surprised. Like, we don't actually have that much confidence in the coaching staff and Schottenheimer. Achane goes 5. Game Tight pulls up Achane. Where's Pepper Tony when you need him? Pepper Tony would have loved that pick. But Achane goes 5 in this one. Getting different. Don't mind it. The 5 spot is a weird one. But the Iron Throne says, I got to start knocking out these puppies. At the moment, it's a pretty interesting contest. The 188 final, I think, is more appealing than the previous puppies, for sure. But CMC goes, I'll take Taylor. Haven't updated my rankings, but I'll take Taylor here. He is my RB3, actually. We go Taylor. But Chase Brown, AJ Brown. No need to force it, Jeffrey. Take the falling value. If anything, I'm just sticking to my rankings by taking Taylor there. But D1 Blue says, I traded Hampton, Burrow, and Tyler Warren for Justin Herbert and Bijan. You think I fleeced? Hampton, Burrow, and Tyler Warren. You got Herbert and Bijan. Damn. The 3 for 2 usually is better. Getting Bijan, he's the best player of the group, so that usually wins the trade. I think Herbert will be neck and neck, if not outperform Burrow this season, so that's not bad. The Hampton and Tyler Warren for Bijan, that's pretty decent. I'm going to go with Kenneth Walker today. I could go Hampton, but I'll go Kenneth Walker instead. Top ADP would say Saquon, but at least Walker is higher ranked than Hampton. And maybe that's a little bit lesser owned as well. But the U Miami did take the Lamb Pickens combo. He was not afraid of it. Is that, Jeffrey, are you the U Miami? If you are, you should say something. But Mr. Kid says, wouldn't be surprised if Cook went 5. Cook's a good pick. Cook is a very good pick. I have him ranked at number 5 in my running back rankings, which will be posted after I'm done live streaming. It's actually uploaded to YouTube. I have to post the thumbnail. I have to change the title and put in the timestamps. But I was uploading a pre-recorded edited video while I was live tonight. We recorded that earlier today, and my top 12 running back rankings are going to be posted later tonight after this stream is over. We'll be doing that. But the Iron Throne says, I avoided the last puppy hard. Finish was insane in that one. The finals were way too big. Way too big. But gotcha, Jeffrey. You're in Michigan. It sounds like Michigan's open. From what somebody else said, it sounds like it's open. But I'm not up to date on all the legal stuff there. Somebody mentioned earlier, though, that Michigan has been open for Underdog. Whether you're drafting with us or not, hope you're having a good night. Hope everyone watching is having a good night. We got pick 33 on the slate. Start off running back. So receiver's probably the play. At 33, though, I do start to consider Trey McBride. I normally don't take him, though. But I will consider it if he falls. Team 7 starts off triple receiver unnecessarily, but doesn't care, just wants to go in that direction. I mentioned I'd consider McBride. I might do it here, but I think after the team we just drafted, I don't want elite tight end. I'm going to go T. Higgins. I'm going to take T. Higgins. This lobby likes Javonte Williams so far. At least the contest in day 1 has coveted Javonte a bit more than other running backs. Given the injuries to Love and Breece Hall, I can kind of understand. But based on the team I started off with, I'll just go with a receiver. But appreciate that, Jeffrey. Glad to know. I definitely make mistakes. I've always made mistakes. But I feel like I adjust quickly over the course of the season. I keep track of information. We try to stay up to date. And then when I do make a mistake, I usually own up to it. So that last team was not my best. That's for sure. Appreciate you joining us this evening. And glad to know we've helped you for 2 straight years. Good to know. We got Super Beast right next to me. Goes Egbuka at 39. I pulled up Waddle to 26. I've been taking him like crazy. I think Waddle's a great pick. I'll take Waddle at 40, past ADP. But yeah, Team 11 has a mega Dallas Cowboys stack going on. If you believe in the Cowboys, then it should work out. Sometimes it's a little bit overkill. Your first 3 picks, a little expensive. But if it's right, it's right. We did see the Bengals mega stack work out tremendously a few seasons ago. However, 2 years ago, the price on all those Bengals was not in the first 3 rounds. I think that's where sometimes it goes a little overkill. I personally wouldn't take all 3 Cowboys together. But if that wasn't the mantra of my last team, I don't know what was. We'll see how it goes, Jeffrey. But if the Cowboys are just the team you need, then might as well. I've drafted a triple Bengals team before, and it feels overkill also. It feels a little excessive. It feels kind of odd. I'm not going to be sniping him on Dak Prescott. I think unstacked Prescott isn't a good pick, so I doubt anyone else will do it. So he should get his Dak Prescott at 83. Loveland goes after Waddle. I think Loveland's a great pick in the 4th round. Definitely valuable. Very good pick. Montgomery, Jacobs, and Swift. A bit early on Montgomery, but I can kind of understand it. I'd rather have Swift or Scatabo personally, but I can understand the justification on Montgomery. It sounds like that argument, though, is not accurate. It sounds like the main bet on Montgomery is that he's going to be the workhorse and a 3-down back, just like Joe Mixon was. But the reports are looking more positive than expected on Woody Marks. So with Swift and Scatabo still on the board, I don't think I believe in Montgomery that much to take him above those guys. Even above Jacobs, a little tough to fully justify. But DJ Moore's still here. I like Rome Odunze as well. But today I will mix in DJ Moore. Sorry to Keith. I think he has Allen right next to me, but I do have DJ Moore ranked as the highest among these receivers. Rome is a good pick, so either way you're getting a good option. I don't have the stacking quarterback available for DJ Moore, so that's one reason not to take him there. But straight up, I do think I trust DJ Moore a little bit more this season than Rome. I like Rome a lot, but pretty inconsistent, and there's more target share, I think, going for DJ Moore this season as opposed to Rome Odunze. I think he might get a bit more targets, but that's also not a guarantee. I might be wrong on that. I'm also just took the falling ADP. Either of those picks would have been fine, but at least it's a different buy than Waddle. It would have been a double up on the bye week. How are we taking it? But BTJ or Travion, interesting choice here. I think in best ball, I still want to be mixing in Travion, and in the 6th round, I'll go for it every now and then. I can understand if this is just the wrong pick, though. It's possible that Travion doesn't work out. But last year, he did finish top 20 in overall total points. And if you told me Ramondre got hurt again, I know I have an elite option. So I'm swinging for the fence. Not many players have the game-breaking ability of Travion. He's a house call waiting to happen. So on this team, with him in the 6th round, after Jalen Warren, after Jadarian Price, I'm willing to mix him in. But I think we'll be all right. Jeffrey said they don't get the Jackson pick. They blew it. I don't think so. I don't think it's the worst pick in the world. Lamar at 59 is a good pick. I didn't take him. I totally could have, but I have seen him in the 6th a couple times. I get greedy, and I think structurally I'm okay passing on occasion. But Burrow would have also been an option. I didn't take him either. It is what it is. I'm just building my team. I'm not forcing the stacks, though. So far, We have 3 receivers, 3 running backs, and we'll find quarterbacks and tight ends later. But perhaps Travion is just a bad pick. My cat's doing something. She just like looked at me with a gross stank meow. But knowing he needs Dak, maybe the combo of Lamar and Tyler Warren is off, but at least per the ADP, they are good picks at that spot. So if you disagree with the build, that's another thing. Either way, I thought he was kind of risking it from the jump. So just trusting what you have and taking good values, that's also fine. You need multiple quarterbacks. You need multiple tight ends. But I also get your point on just the structure of the build. QJ here at 81, I think is a bit more appropriate. Late 7th round feels a bit better. With Godwin already off the board, I'll do it. I know Herbert already got taken, but I get the bring back with the Chargers and Chiefs. Kenneth Walker versus QJ in the final week. Should be a nice bring back there. That's going to be a high-scoring game, more likely than not. But Dak goes to the U Miami. We'll see how the rest of the team gets built, but obviously needs to stop with 2 quarterbacks. Can probably push the next tight end for quite some time. If I had to guess, he's probably taken Jake Ferguson. Because Blake Corum as RB3. I haven't updated my ranks, so they're just like all over the place. We could go double Colt, but not dying to take downs, to be honest. It's all right. I don't think it's fully necessary. I'm going to go with Mahomes here. And I think the Walker stack is actually pretty valuable and kind of underrated. I don't think it's bad. But obviously the cat is right in front of me and blocking my view. So we take Mahomes. I think it's a decent combo. And who knows, maybe Kelsey falls in this one. Maybe Xavier Worthy's still there in the 10th round. But I could also just backstack with Cyrus Allen on top of that. But I think the Kenneth Walker stack is actually more valuable than people think. They're going to use Kenneth Walker a lot. So here we are with Mahomes and Ken Walker, Taylor and Travion also on this team. Running back feels pretty strong. A little risky in the flex spot, but elite upside. So we can win the contest if it's the right play at the right time. We also get the Denver bring back with Travion Henderson and the Patriots. T. Higgins has won championships before. He has high upside. DJ Moore, a really good wide receiver 3 option. Excellent floor play. Also has stayed healthy for 17 weeks and 5 straight seasons. He is money in the bank to stay on the field. Quentin Johnston for that elite upside randomly, but just kind of a Jamison Williams light. There's weeks where he disappears with bagels, but then there's also a bunch of games with like 18, 20 plus points because he gives you a house call. He scores touchdowns from deep out, and he has back-to-back seasons with 8 touchdowns. He's a fine pick in the late 7th. If you take him in the 6th, the only way to justify it is stacking him with Herbert. He also carries some risk that Trey Harris just steals his job. So let's hope for the best with QJ here. But at 81, it feels better than at 71. But Game Tight has 6 running backs already. Holy shit. Game Tight has Achan, Genty, Love, Swift, Judkins, and Harvey. Holy shit. He snipes me on Bo Nix. He had Harvey and Cortland Sutton. His other receiver is Marvin Harrison. I don't like Game Tight's team. I do not like Game Tight's team. Too many running backs. Took one in the first round, the second round, the third round, the fourth round, the fifth round, and the 7th or 8th round, I believe. I think it's the 8th round. Whoa. But pick 104. I could go Alec Pierce, who's still here. Xavier Worthy does stack. But for upside, I really like this fall on Alec Pierce, to be honest with you. I'm going to take Alec Pierce at 105. Worthy has some weird vibes. If anything, Worthy might circle back to me. And I'm not exactly sure what to make of Worthy. I know Pierce is kind of banged up, but when he's on the field, he's a house call waiting to happen. He has such high upside. I think in best ball, he's a great pick. So someone took Tyson at 94. Downs went up 91. I know Keenan Allen's there, but Keenan's not going to be involved all season at an elite rate. I think just taking the upside play of Alec Pierce in the 9th round is fine. But Stribling goes, you could argue Stribling is a better pick. I'm kind of worried about all the Niners, though. The vibes are just like so bad right now. It seems like they're just all destined to get hurt. I feel like all of them are getting injured. It's probably not going to happen. There's probably going to be some that still pay off, but the vibes feel very strange. I think Monungai at this falling price is really interesting. To just invest in Chicago. Some might take Worthy here, but I already have 5 receivers. I'm going to go Kyle Monungai. I like Monungai in this range. I think there's really no other competition behind Swift. And there's the contingent upside if Swift gets hurt, but then there's also a weekly usage rate on the goal line where Monungai just could score 8 touchdowns again. Last year, he had 8 touchdowns. I think we're in good shape. The risk factor of Travion and the touchdown usage of Monungai, a really good offense to bet on. I like that combo with the double anchor of Taylor and Ken Walker. I like that combo. So we still don't have a tight end, but we can always push that. After the team we just drafted, I think we have to push it. I think that's the only way to rectify that type of build. But let's see. We got Jeffrey saying, I'm not arguing average draft position. I would never do that, just the build. Given the bet you have to make on Dak Prescott, you might as well just take him as your top quarterback. But I can also just understand scooping up the value on Lamar. But I think if anything, that was just price enforcing. But the quarterback room is great with Lamar and Dak Prescott. He can still land the plane. I wouldn't write it off entirely. It's not the end of the world, but it is a little bit thin at receiver, if you ask me. Like so far with Lamb, Pickens, and just Concepcion, it's thin at receiver. But I just don't like the huge bet on Dallas. If anything, just commit to it and go Jake Ferguson. But whenever I start off with Lamb and Pickens, I feel like it's a little bit odd. But I was planning to get Bo Nix. I think that's what you're typing here. We got sniped on Bo Nix. But Crumb says 5 spot sucks, but starting draft with 5 RB seems like betting against your first 4 running back picks to me. Not only did he take 5 in a row, he also took number 6 in the 8th round. I think Harvey really damages the build even more. Harvey feels like a really odd player to tack on there. Kind of unnecessary. Just wanted the Bo Nix stack really badly. But we'll see what happens here. If Baker falls, I might just take him just for the hell of it. because quarterback's starting to dry up. And this is a pretty good fall. Baker at 129. His ADP is 122, but even unstacked just for the sake of the points, I am a little worried that Mahomes starts off slow. Coming off the injury, I'm a little worried about it. So I think early season schedule, while Baker has a full roster of weapons, I know he gets the Bengals week 1. That should be a high-scoring game. I think Baker typically starts off hot. So I'm just going to add him on here. I like Jalen McMillan later. I'm fine with it. At the discount, I'll just take him. It'd be better stacked up, but I got sniped on Godwin, so it just doesn't align. But for points, just to compete with the rest of the pod, I think Baker's way, way better than the rest of the quarterbacks available. So I disagree, Jeffrey. I disagree. I don't think I'm forcing it. I think I'm just taking the value. In a contract season, I think Baker as my quarterback 2 were very viable. I would have preferred to get Malik Willis in the next round, but the quarterback position was going off and Baker was still there. I'm fine with it. We did pass on Travis Kelce. Jake Ferguson's still here. I could go Daniel Jones with Taylor and Alec Pierce, but I'm going to take Jake Ferguson, get my tight end 1. And we'll see what the board decides. They gave us a fall on Baker. They might give us another fall later in the draft. But how does Baker help my team more than Kelce right there? Stacking isn't always hypercritical. But we can agree to disagree. We can stack Baker with some later round picks. QB2 is also important. Because of the cliff at the position, I don't think there's anyone that really helps your lineup with the upside that Baker offers. Like, you can get a 35-pointer from Baker and expect it not just once, but multiple times. There's actually a ceiling with Baker. The rest of the way, there's really no ceiling with any quarterback. It's hard to expect more than a 20-pointer, more than like 3 or 4 times. And when it happens, it's like really random. I don't have any other stacking partners other than Daniel Jones. So at this point, the stack is just kind of overrated. I just need points. So the fall on Baker, I think, is what helps me. I just have a good, viable quarterback every week. I have to finish top 2 in the pod. That's important. But Daniel Jones goes to Buddy Man. He has him also unstacked. Just needs points at the end of the day. We have the Herbert team that did take Ladd McConkey and Chris Olave. They got both of them stacked up. That's good for false at pick 1. But looks like I missed these comments earlier. Cuddy surprised I didn't take Gainwell. If anything, Gainwell might have helped me, but I do like Pierce a lot in best ball. So I think Pierce at 105 is just a really good value. But I know exactly who I want here if he's available. And he is. Give me Tank Bigsby for sure. Definitely. Give me Tank Bigsby. I think I can push the stacking partner. I'm just super high on Tank Bigsby, but I think one of the stacks will still be available to me. I might be jinxing it, but I've always been a Tank Bigsby guy. And it's been a while since I've clicked him. He's been going above where I want to take him. So I'm glad I have a lot of shares of him later on, but getting Tank Bigsby always feels nice. We're done at running back now. But I think it's a reasonable assumption that Saquon misses a little bit of time. I don't know if he goes out for the season, but a lot of touches for him. The age of 29. He might be turning 30 at like the end of the year. I forget when his birthday is. But all right, here we go. We still have a stacking option. We're taking Cyrus Allen at 160. The hype train is undeniable. Cyrus Allen looks really good. And there's weird vibes on Rashee Rice. I don't trust Xavier Worthy very much. Kelsey is almost ancient at this point. And Cyrus Allen looks like potentially the future of the franchise. If they want to move off of Rashee Rice, I don't think they trust Worthy to do it enough. So maybe Cyrus Allen is one of the best picks on the board. Maybe he's this year's Puka Nacua. That's our bet with Mahomes. We have Ken Walker and Cyrus Allen with Mahomes. McMillan went 156, but I have Tank Bigsby, and I already had a lot of receivers. I like my receiver room. T. Higgins, Jalen Waddle, DJ Moore, Quentin Johnson, Alec Pierce, and Cyrus Allen. I think having just an elite home run swing at running back, one of the most valuable handcuffs on the board. Tank Bigsby, all or nothing play at 153. I think was fine passing on Jalen McMillan there. We're just using Baker for the advance piece. We need quarterback points, and he was a good value. I got my fan pumping. I'm going to turn that off. I'll be right back.
Nice and blunt.
But I love the confidence, Jeffrey. Good luck. Promo code BLUNT to get $50 on sign up after you play your first 5. Helps out the channel, helps you out. If you do intend to sign up for Underdog, make sure you use promo code BLUNT. Okay. The team is a 2-5-6-1. We could afford a late round quarterback if we really wanted one, but nobody stacks up, so it's kind of unnecessary. I think I'm definitely drafting 3 tight ends on this one with only Jake Ferguson. We're going to need someone to close this thing out. I've actually been coming around on Kenyon Sadiq as a legit pick. He's fallen a little too far in my opinion. He's fallen to the point where I think he's a good pick. Barner goes. Could bring in Vele if we want. Might just stack up Ted Hurst though. Shit. Yo, I feel like my timer is off. I feel like my timer tells me I have more time than it actually does. I sure hope you do, Jeffrey. All love. Especially if you use promo code BLUNT. All love, indeed. Always. But, all right, I got the stack. We're done at receiver probably. And these picks all blend together, so it's not that big of a deal. I don't really want TJ Hawkinson that much. Rob from Pro Fanatics would say take TJ Hawkinson all day here. Don't think I really want to. I'm going to take Sadiq, I think. Among the names this late, like, he's the one with, like, the true upside, I think. Super Beast goes Emmett Johnson. We'll go Kenyon. At 184, I'm in at this price. This is where his ADP is. When it comes to the talent, I don't think you're getting anyone comparable to him the rest of the way. So I'm not quite sure what is going to happen when he's actually on the field, but the reports I've read is that they're expecting week 1 for him. They're optimistic about it. And I think the first round capital is going a little under the radar at this point in time. Maybe too many people took him earlier and they are just fed up with it. Some people like me just hate the Jets, don't want the excuse to take more. But I took a decent amount of him in the pre-draft, only like the week or two leading up to the draft. I didn't take too much forever, but I started to get really excited about his upside and potential. I hoped he would go to the Bengals. And then after that, I never took him. He slowly fell dramatically down the board. I believe it's like 30, 40 picks or something. And at this point, I think he goes a little too late. So I've been increasing my exposure to the Jets tight end room through Kenyon Sadiq. I'm never taking Mason Taylor, but the first rounder I think has upside. But a bummer, Jeffrey. Looks like you're not allowed in Michigan, but I am not on DraftKings. I am on Drafters. If you want, you can use promo code BLUNT on Drafters, and you'll get your first deposit 1-for-1 matched, $100. You put in 100, you have 200 in your account using promo code BLUNT on your first Drafters deposit. Sign up link is also down below. But the rookies stacking up, they're the only back stacks that are like pretty viable. I could go Tyquan Thornton if I really wanted to, but I don't know if that's necessary. I like my receiver room a lot on this one. So I think stopping at 7 is totally fine. I need another tight end for sure, and then I may as well just tack on another quarterback perhaps. Maybe I should have taken Rodgers on the last one. Pulling up Ted Hurst was a dumb move. Very unnecessary. But like I said, these ADPs kind of all blend together, so it is what it is. The thing about this one with Travion, Kyle Monungai, and Tank Bigsby, I might actually have 3 of the most expensive handcuffs. 3 of the most expensive backups imaginable. There's a world where I actually don't have the running back depth to stop at 5. Travion is a big gamble, actually. So I'm actually going to take a guy I trust as well at 201. I think the market has gotten a little too disgusted by Brian Robinson. I think they got tired of it, and then the folks that were clicking it a lot stopped doing it, and then everyone else just doesn't like him. But at 201, I think he has more weekly value than Kamara, than Pacheco, than Braylon Allen, than Dylan Sampson, probably over Jaden Blue, Emmett, Kalen Black, and Ray Davis as well. I think he has actually some chance at having weekly production. And then obviously the chance that Bijan just gets hurt. There's also that. So I took Brian Robinson there. And this last pick, I think, has to be tight end. We could go Cade Otton for the stack. I think I will. I don't have much Cade Otton, but last 2 seasons, 80-plus targets, 59 catches, almost 600 yards in both of them. He probably has a few more touchdowns than last season. Last round, I'll take the stacked-up Cade Otton. The floor play, I'll do it. Very inexpensive. So essentially, it's as if I took Ted Hurst where I took Brian Robinson and flipped them. It all ended up being a wash on the Ted Hurst pull-up. It was a little expensive, but it really didn't matter in the end. We just got 4 usable pieces that help out the team structurally. All right, so here we go. Mahomes double stacked with Kenneth Walker and Cyrus Allen. Baker Mayfield double stacked with Ted Hurst and Cade Otton. Running back room has Taylor and Kenneth Walker, both 2 picks behind ADP. Travion Henderson in the 6th round. Kyle Monangai in the 10th. Tank Bigsby in, I believe, round 13. Might be round 14, but one of those two. I think it's round 13. And then Brian Robinson in round 17. Pretty good depth, valuable handcuffs, and then elite upside with Travion and Monangai. Receiver room has T. Higgins, Jalen Waddle, DJ Moore, Quentin Johnson, Alec Pierce, Cyrus Allen, and Ted Hurst. So some big bets on rookies. Hoping that the injury on Alec Pierce doesn't linger too long. Just buying the dip at 105. High spike week upside still remains when he's on the field. Quentin Johnston, high spike week guy. We got an elite floor play as our receiver 3 with DJ Moore. Another elite floor play with Jalen Waddle. And then probably one of the highest ceiling floor combos with T. Higgins, despite some injury risk, with Higgins and Pierce. Maybe I missed too many games where that's my Achilles heel, but I think I'm going to be okay. And then if I do hit massively on Cyrus Allen or Ted Hurst, either one, I think we'll be in very good shape. But Jake Ferguson, Kenyon Sadiq, and Cade Otton, not the best tight end room, but compared to the last one, I had to push it and try to build out the rest of the roster. I may have drafted one too many running backs. I could have maybe used an 8th receiver. In hindsight, perhaps it would have been a bit more valuable than running back 6, knowing I have Taylor and Walker. You know, how often are the other guys hitting my lineup? But pretty inconsistently in the first place with the options I have. We just need the right guy at the right time. Let's hope for the best. But maybe B-Rob over receiver wasn't the best move. It wasn't completely necessary, though. I think I like my receiver room enough not to mind it. Definitely needed 3 tight ends, though. That's for sure. So Sadiq and Otton, hopefully at good values, pay off for me. Gotcha. I mean, I don't think it's terrible. I think the survival contest is great. I really like the survival contest myself. But yeah, the previous draft was a bummer. Just a unique team. Brian Robinson Jr. over Jaden Blue for real, huh? I mean, weekly usage? Yeah. There's not that many players in Atlanta that get the ball. So I would say so. It looks like Malik Davis actually might have the upper hand over Jaden Blue as the handcuff. So if you told me this year both Javonte Williams and Bijan Robinson got hurt, I don't think it's a lock that Jaden Blue is better than Brian Robinson as the starter for the Falcons. And I think even until that happens, Bijan still gives up some touches on the ground. No catches for Brian Robinson. That's, I think, the problem. The PPR value is really low. But if he's forced to be the workhorse, the same thing as other guys this late. So he just gets neglected. But at 201, I'm fine with it. But decent build. You got strength everywhere. Tight end's a little iffy. We waited, but the Jake Ferguson bet, I'm surprised the Dak Prescott drafter didn't take him. I am a bit surprised that happened. He took Andrews instead with Kittle and Tyler Warren. I guess he couldn't afford 4 of them. Okay, we have a few team reviews to do, and then we're off to bed. I'm going to go to sleep for sure. Actually, no, I'm going to be posting a video. I forgot about that. Buddy Man, are you still a member? I don't quite remember if that was like a couple months ago. And if you're still a member, please let me know, buddy man. I would happily review this, but I just want to confirm. Let me know. I believe you're still watching, but let me know. Game tight with Bo Nix and Malik Willis. But the running points are what we're betting on. I think we got a chance here. A little thin, perhaps, if Malik Willis just doesn't contribute enough. Could be a little thin, but I don't mind the 2 quarterback build at all. And you just need points at the end of the day. Let's hope the running quarterback does pay off. Devon Achane, Ashton Genty at 20. Jeremiah Love, DeAndre Swift, Quinshon Judkins, and RJ Harvey. Pretty heavy. We mentioned this earlier. I felt like you spent too much. You started with 4 straight, then you took a 5th, and then you took a 6th in round 8. I think you can get away with just 4. But Mike is definitely still a member. Good to see that. Appreciate you letting me know, Mike. Thank you. I thought so. Just wanted to make sure. Marvin Harrison, Cortland Sutton, Wandale, Denzel Boston, Tucker, Pat Bryant, Douglas, and Chris Bell. Good luck with the Dolphins receivers. If that hits, it's a miracle. But to expect both to be valuable is a little hard to believe. Chris Bell is still up in the air on when he gets back, but it sounds like he's healthier than expected. So they could just be the least expensive receivers 1 and 2. If the Dolphins bet works for you, this team has a chance, but we'll see. That's yet to be determined. The Marvin Harrison wide receiver 1 bet is disgusting. Wandale doesn't look like a valuable pick right now, given the Cam Ward situation. Looking like a dog shit quarterback. I have some fear that all those Titans players are just terrible, just like last season. But then Boston, Trey Tucker, there's a chance here. There's a chance, but then tight end has Hawkinson and Ingram. That's pretty gross. That's really gross. Whoa. Tight end is disgusting. Yeah, you definitely took too many running backs. I think so. Maybe you thread the needle and you just have all the right receivers that you need, but that kind of feels like the bet that I need on my last team, where I just got to thread the needle and just like pray. But Game Tight has some risky builds. There's always some chances being taken on a Game Tight team. Good luck. It could be worse, though. I think it's not a complete F, but tight end really, really looks disgusting. Let's take a look at Buddy Man's team. Mike is in here. He has Caleb, Daniel Jones, and Michael Penix. So affordable, unique with Penix, and it's probably correlated enough to have at least one stack or two. But Bijan is stacked with Penix, so is London. I had a Bijan London team. I did not pair up a quarterback there. I did not really care, but it's worth trying, especially if you have both. Pollard, Dobbins, Rashad, so kind of falls off quick after Bijan. Dylan Sampson and Isaiah Pacheco, so some really gross handcuffs. If Pacheco's just the guy in Detroit, we may have let him fall too far as well. Just like Brian Robinson, I feel like people just got tired of taking him. At 194, it's a very legit pick. But then Pollard and Dobbins, more floor plays, just hoping to get advance, just hoping to advance with this team. Rashad could be a great pick, has felt a little bit less valuable the last several weeks, though. And then I really don't like Sampson myself, but he's also one of just those straight up contingent bets. If Judkins goes down, he will be a flex play. Matchup dependent for sure, but does catch passes. London and Neighbors, that's pretty valuable. Luther Burden and Terry, that's really nice. Romeo Dobbs, Flournoy, and Branch. Receiver room is great. Receiver room is totally fine. Can afford some big swings with risk factors on Flournoy and Branch. Another Falcon. Love to see it. You also have Pitts and Juwan Johnson. The bring back is there with Juwan Johnson. So tight end is fine. Running back is deep enough to work, but behind Bijan feels kind of mid. Receiver feels great. And then quarterback is pretty deep. Quarterback is fine with those three. So as long as Caleb Williams isn't just dog shit, as long as Caleb Williams pays off his cost, then this team can compete. I see the vision here. It's just kind of player takes on this running back room. I think that's really the only thing that scares me. It's that beyond Bijan, I don't think they're like the best upside plays. A few too many floor picks. And Pollard just might be really unvaluable given the grim nature of the Titans backfield. So that's the only complaint. Otherwise, it's all legit. And sometimes I make a big mistake too. Who am I to judge at the end of the day? John Tara is in here. He's a member. T-Law and Purdy with CMC, Saquon, Chris Rodriguez, Mike Washington, Tyjae Spears, and Jaden Blue. Fun running back room. Very fun. And affordable. The double anchor CMC, Saquon feels like they could each easily get hurt. Nice. But if they do just stay healthy, then you're in business here. Devontae Smith and Mike Evans. So more Eagles and Niners that bring back should be interesting. Week 17, if you make it there, you may as well just go to the game and root for it in person. But Brian Thomas, Chris Godwin, Deebo Samuel, Trey Harris, and Rashad Bateman. Pretty decent. I got no complaints on the receiver room. Loveland, Barner, and Njoku. Very balanced team. Super fun. Stacked up well correlated. Obviously, risk with CMC and Saquon just going down. But if that holds up, I think this team could really make some noise and easily advance. I think this team is great. John Tara with a banger. Super Beast, Keith was also next to me. He's Allen and Cam Ward. We spoke about Cam Ward a few times in the last couple hours. He looks really bad. I've been a believer in Cam Ward's development. I like the Brian Dable hire for his chances. I don't want to write him off entirely. Players can get better week over week. Just look at Caleb Williams last season. But it looks pretty bad. The O-line might not save him. And his instincts look really bad. He has a lot of fumbles. We'll see what happens. But James Cook, Chase Brown, Rico Dowdle, Woody Marks, and Emmett Johnson. Balanced running back room. I still think Woody Marks is a little expensive for my liking, but he does look like maybe a better pick than I would have thought a few weeks ago. He's starting to get some coach speak, but I still worry about him at 130. I still kind of think it's not destined to pay off because it's the Houston Texans, and there's not that much upside. But the room is complete. There's no issue with the room. Egbuka, Odunze, Cardinal Tate, Addison, Stribling, Golden, Malachi Fields, and Tesla. Last two are scary, but the top six, I think, are good enough to compensate. Top six are fantastic. And then if you get anything out of Fields or Tesla, that's great. So really nitpicking on the final two. With 8 like this, I think it checks out just fine. Goddard, Henry, and Helm. Nice team here. A major bet on Josh Allen. Risky as fuck pick on Cam Ward, but it's stacked up with Cardinal Tate and Gunnar Helm. And then running back room feels very fun. Good team here. Super Beast with a good team. This is a competitive lobby. If anything, let me look at my team one more time. Mahomes and Baker could be better, but based on name value, should be enough. In theory, it should be enough. But Taylor and Ken Walker, Travion, Kyle Monange, Bigsby, and Brian Robinson. We got the league-winning upside. I think we kind of need a little bit of injury luck with one of these four, though. I think I might need some injury bet to pay off. Receiver, we liked it, though, with Higgins, Waddle, DJ Moore, Quentin Johnson, Alec Pierce, Cyrus Allen, Ted Hurst. Tight end room could be better. Ferguson, Sadiq, and Otten. But I also still see the vision on my team. But this was a good lobby. There were some good teams in this one. I think I will finish in the top half. I don't know who exactly will be top two. I could see Buddy Man. I could see John Tara and Super Beast all in the top two. And I might get bounced out. Who knows? let's hope for the best. But that's going to be it for the team reviews. Let me catch up with the chat real quick, but then I'm going to get to the final edit and post that video I mentioned. But we got Key says if Game Tight took Rome, Watson, or DJ Moore in lieu of Judkins, his team would look a lot different. Game Tight instead just really committed to running back. Yeah. Running back will be an interesting thing in this lobby, given how it went. But Achan at 5 was also pretty wild. Let's be honest. Pretty wild pick on Achan at 5. But Rome over Judkins all day, says Mr. Bakes a lot. At least on this team, didn't need Judkins. That was where it went off the rails. But the drafting community is getting better as a whole since nice drafts out there. Some nice drafts for sure. But John Tyra says, thanks, was worried about the running back depth. I think it checked out. I understand feeling a little worried about it. There are some major bets on handcuffs here that just could not work. Might not work. But as long as Saquon and CMC deliver, then I think you're fine. But I hope so, Jeffrey. I hope it inspires everyone. The world needs more artists. That's for sure. But glad Game Tight enjoyed it. It was very fun drafts tonight. Mike, you're welcome for the review. As always, thank you for being a member of the Blunt Rotation. And Game Tight says, need 7 for a field general. If anyone is interested, so head over there if you guys would like. I imagine that lobby will fill even at 12:40 a.m. But Keaton Mitchell's a good upside swing. The floor is pretty low. Only in best ball do I think he's worth his ADP. But Key says Buddy Man takes it. Let's take one last look at Buddy Man's team. Caleb, Daniel Jones, and Penix, Bijan, Pollard, Dobbins, Rashad White. Oh, yeah, this was the running back build that, if not for Bijan, I would really not feel great about. But receiver was really nice. And then Flournoy, Branch, Pitts, and Juwan. Super balanced team from Buddy Man. Let's see if running back does enough. All right. On this team, I could see Keaton Mitchell have an impact. Yeah, there is some upside, but I think taking Romeo Doubs is a very good pick. I think maybe Keaton Mitchell over Rashad White would have been the move. But Keaton Mitchell went 120. He was sniped by false. Yeah, so perhaps reading the board, false already had 5 receivers. Maybe had you passed on Dobbs, took Keaton Mitchell, you still get Dobbs at 122. That could have been a move, but you know, hindsight's always 20/20, and it's also possible that Keaton Mitchell just doesn't pay off. Maybe JCM gets hurt, and the guy you do need is Rashad White after all. There's also a chance that some fluke shit could happen, and we'll see. But Mike says, I do like Keaton Mitchell on this team. You may have expected him at 122 and just didn't get him. I think the Romeo Doubs pick in a vacuum, though, is a very good choice at 119, but based on the turn, perhaps getting running back first, avoiding the snipe, would have also been nice. But well, Coleman was sniped as well. Coleman went one pick above him at 12:10. He was at 12:11. But all right, that's going to be it for tonight. I will take maybe one last hit from the bong. But definitely time to log off. After that, I'm going to post this video. If you want my top 12 running backs, that'll be posted tonight. Probably in the next like 15 minutes. But I'll see you guys next time. First, though, we're going to take a rip from the bong. Let's go. Later. See you next time. End stream.